that's like wasted money.
You can raise him comfortably knowing that he hasn't looked at his cards.
Action folds to Rankowski, who's out. Phil Hellmuth, ace-jack.
A lot of money out there already, and it's unopened.
Real money.
All right, I opened for the pot.
Pots it.
And you looked, right?
Well, I think I looked. Allegedly, I looked.
Tony.
I'm all in.
Pot limit, brah.
Without looking?
Without looking.
Pretty sure he looked.
Well, you can't be all in.
66.
Tony repots it with ace-king.
All right. You slow down. You slow down a bit. You got to save the rest?
Not if he believes you haven't looked.
Hellmuth now facing a raise and an angle shot.
It's hard to believe that you always have a hand against me.
Look, you could see the flop and get rid of it as well. Right? You could play good.
Without looking too?
I'm not looking. I haven't looked. I don't care. I know it's a random hand, and I got a random hand.
Wow, all that talking makes me think he's strong. I was for sure going to call before that.
15 on top, Tony.
He's saying he hasn't looked though.
He most certainly looked. Did no one?
That bit right there is shit stirring, man. That's him just trying to fucking stir the pot. Never realized Nacho was on the table.
See him?
He's saying you didn't look?
Yeah, you wouldn't lie, Tony, would you?
I wouldn't lie. You can check my
lie,
hand if
Tony.
you want. You can tell him the truth.
You didn't look at either
He looks
card.
down, sees
I
ace
haven't
king suited.
You promise?
Ask Joe. I mean, I haven't
I
looked.
can't say anything, but
I'm not going to look.
that's between you and Phil.
Says he hasn't looked. He hasn't looked.
I didn't
Do
see
you
it.
believe him? Yeah. He said he hasn't looked. Only Joe
It's
looked.
so
Did you
sick.
look at your cards at all? I mean, it's...
Look, the people at home know I haven't looked. Joe's looked
well,
at my
if
hand.
you haven't looked, it's kind of an easy decision for me here.
We can run it 10 times as well.
He says it again to himself as
Well,
well.
if you haven't looked,
You haven't looked.
guess I'll just move in.
Phil ships and Tony calls.
On this line here, you're close.
All right, you're close. You're up there.
Oh, you lied.
Of course I lied. It's poker, Phil. What do you think this is?
That's messed up.
So messed up.
Wow.
What do you think, I'm blind? How many times do you want to run
Well,
it?
I asked you if you had looked or not.
Do you want to run it how many times?
I'll let you choose, Tony.
Three
I mean,
times.
I
Three
always
times.
lose, so... You kind of deserve to lose the first
I
one.
do deserve. I hope you win one.
Why would you lie? I mean, no, let's consider totally not uncool, man. I mean, it's not right.
I feel it's just a game.
That's etiquette, though. I mean, you don't
Phil,
say
what
you were
happens
blind
on
when
this
you were blind.
table in play is just a game. We tell whatever we want.
So
When do you tell
all
the
the rules
truth?
of poker are just thrown out the window
Well,
for you.
call the floorman. If you think my hand might be dead, then.
That's horrible etiquette to say you didn't look at your hand, and you know, this really bad etiquette. But
What do you think? I'm a kid? Phil.
we're talking about etiquette.
I'm a
so
poker
you're
player.
the kind of guy that goes to the golf course, and when someone's playing you a big money match, you scream in the middle of their backswing.
You think that's the same thing?
Yes, I
don't
know
think
it's
that's
the same thing.
I don't
Listen,
think so.
if you pulled all the
We're
top
talking
players,
about the
you'd get
strength
crushed.
of our hand, and I'm selling
Let's just
you.
bet
hang on.
100,000 if we pull the top 20 players. We'll ask about your etiquette. Or maybe we'll bet a
I
quarter
can
million.
bet on myself, and I can be
Why don't
very
you just
happy
bet
with
with
my
me?
own.
You know it's bad etiquette.
Phil, this is a
You
poker
know
TV
it's
show.
bad etiquette.
This is a poker TV show.
Well, don't argue with me then.
You
Don't try
coming
to
as
make
the best
excuses
player in
and
the world,
lie.
taking me on. You
No,
come in my
don't
house,
lie.
and I'm destroying you.
You
in
know it's
every
bad
part
etiquette.
of the game.
You don't say you haven't looked at your cards when you haven't looked at your cards. You don't do that.
Okay, well,
it's
then
like
I'm
a
wrong.
rule of poker. It's like it's
Well, why'd you call?
horrible etiquette. Because I thought you hadn't looked at your cards.
Come on, Phil.
Well, as if you want 25,000 this bad, you can have it.
You have to
How
pay
many times
attention
are we
to the
dealing?
game, Phil. If you're a professional player, you would pay attention to me looking at my hand.
Tony,
Would not
look,
you pay
if this is
attention?
the way you want to win, you can win this
I
way.
haven't done anything illegal. I looked at my hand. Everyone saw
No,
it.
when
that
you
paid
flop
attention.
straights and you say, I have a flush draw.
All right, you're a
ha, ha, ha,
policeman. Could you make a comment? We're doing it three
Okay,
times.
how many times? 3 times?
3 times. I admit that my
You deserve to
etiquette
lose the
is
first
terrible.
one again.
I do.
So you know, for that.
Karmically, he deserves to lose all 3. What a villain. I drink your milkshake.
So they're going to run it 3 times with the winner of each run taking a third of the pot. Flop. King 9 tray.
Tony pairs his king. Phil drawing nearly dead.
How happy are you now that it's not running once? If you ran it 11 times, you know you'd win like 4.
Phil taking the high road.
I'm gonna run 11 times.
I drink it up.
Turns a jack.
That's bad for me.
That's bad for
I need that jack on the next round.
yeah.
That's really bad
Well,
for me.
unless you get one now.
Yeah, unless I
Means
get
you
one
won't
now.
get any more. Win any more.
Terrible card for Phil. One less jack he can hit on the next run.
Such a
Give
brutal
him the
first
jack.
one out.
River, ace of diamonds.
That's kind of fair. Let's even out the deck a bit.
Kind of fair.
All right, so that's 1 down for Tony G.
Daniel Negreanu is our first alternate. He'll take Phil's seat if he busts and decides not to reload.
Phil's been felted 4 times on the show, only reloaded once.
You know, Phil, for me, I just want to undersell my hand. I don't know if the way I do it any way I can because it's a heads-up pot. That's me. I'm sorry that that's
You just
me.
admitted it was
I'm
bad
sorry
etiquette.
if I
You want to
bullied
retract?
in the pot. I'm sorry if I bullied you. I'm sorry.
It's
I
not.
don't want to bully you. I'm
It's
sorry. I
not.
feel
Tony,
bad.
look, no problem. Nice hand, man. I mean, you know, you showed your true colors, which is bad for you here.
Here comes flop number 2. 7, 5, 10. No help to Phil.
That's not
You
good.
really, I don't think you're the kind of guy that wants to show your true colors all the time.
No, it's just your true colors can't escape you. You are who you are. Phil.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the way I am.
Turn number 2. Ace of clubs.
Phil's not even holding a club, so no flush draw can save him. He's looking for one of the 2 remaining jacks.
River another 5, and Tony G takes the second run.
So
Don't
brutal.
rush. Don't rush. We might keep you in.
This is just agonizing to watch.
The
I
river.
want you to have a win.
Tony
I
after
want
the
you to
river
come
comes
back.
in this one.
Come back
That's
and
like
show
my
your
favorite.
fans that you're a great player.
Captain Hook doesn't really want to kill Peter Pan.
Flop number 3. Queen, queen, king, and Phil picks up some outs.
Ooh, now he needs a 10 and backdoor spades.
Well, that's actually better. There's 4 10s. There was only 3 jacks.
Well, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like the 10's out as well.
Even if Phil hits the 10, Tony can still make a full house.
Something. I mean, and then a backdoor flush.
No space gone.
I have a good feeling about this one, but the math is just so strong against. How can I get there?
Now you'll get there.
How can I get there?
You will. You will.
It's just too.
Everyone wants you to get there.
Turn 7. No help to Phil.
Okay, the last 10. 3 10s. You can take insurance too.
Yet another needle from Tony.
Our final river. Phil's going to need a 10. It's a jack.
Whoa! You got there.
That's not cool.
No, he didn't.
No. Sorry. I was just joking, Phil. Did you believe me again? Was
No,
that
I
bad
didn't
etiquette
believe you.
too?
So Tony, so look, you're loaning me 50,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look, I don't accept it.
Okay. No problem.
But good game, man.
All right. I'm sorry, Phil. I really am. I'm sorry. I think you should retire. I think it's over. I think you're not there anymore, Phil.
You're playing with you.
All right, thanks.
I think you should take your coach, get a tandem bike.
Helmut's there with
And
like a
get the
coach
hell
as
out of
well,
here.
which is even more
This is
embarrassing.
awful. What Tony's doing is horrific.
I think it's bike time. You know it.
Good game, everybody.
Take your man, and you boys start driving the bike like this. You guys are outclassed. You don't belong in this level, Phil.
Can you believe he lied about his hand?
Yeah,
Have you ever seen that in a high limit game in your life? Tell the truth.
It's extremely strong because it's something you would never do.
Have you ever,
God,
have
how
you
much is he
ever
paying that fucking guy? Jeez Louise. We're playing some tournaments, boys. You know those things? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Some tournaments, man. Some tournaments. 108 here. Zodiac Dragon High Roller. These daytime WPT games as well, man. Just me and the Asians. Just me and the Asians sitting in a jacuzzi together playing cards. My favorite. All the Europeans fast asleep. So what's going on with this? Oh, I see. It's all fucked up. Be my. Oh, I better watch the volume before I start playing music. I had it cranked up.
Keep it J. Smoking all the time, I feel high. Doing the most, I feel low. Read my thoughts. Baby, let me see what you're really made of. Come and fuck with me. I'll set you free. Just you and me. Tearing my thoughts out my head like you wanna do me on the right side. Come fuck with me. All they wanna do is smoke, yeah. All I wanna do is sleep. Put him in a coma, I won't hurt ya. Let me just taste a little might be too much. Come over here, let me taste a little. I might like your touch. Come and fuck with me. Come and fuck with me. Fuck with me. Yeah.
Yo, Dirty Asshole, how we doing, brother? Thank you. Epic. I know, man. Great way to start off today. Watching that classic clip.
Come and fuck with me. I'll set you free. Just you and me.
Sort out these tables in a sec as usual, lads.
You wanna do me on the right side. I know you wanna fuck with me. Yeah. I know I can see it in your face.
He should expect me to always bluff this card, but they just look at the king and they're like, oh, I fold now. They're not thinking, oh, how much will he bluff this hand? How much value will he have? Like, I don't really have tens anymore, so it's like, I've got a king or aces. But the snap folds, like, you play against a good player there, they'll tank call the turn. You jam the river, they're like, they'll hero call you down because they're good at assessing how much value and bluffs there is. And that's a spot with aces where I'm loving it because I'm going to be so unbalanced towards bluffs there. But I know I'm getting the snap fold. But that's why I'm so unbalanced towards bluffs there. This could be a nice 3-bet, you know, 30 effective.
But I think you like it. You like having me around, that's why you keep coming around. We can go out of town if you like.
Little lead here. I mean, it's very small. Can fold out some, well, we're not even folding out a king 10, but a king jack, a king queen, perhaps. I don't know, maybe not the hand. Tiny here as well. Trying to find this chick's fucking song. Ah, we get a true with the 8-7, sadly. Sadly. Shade. Wow, that was 2017. Wow. Come on, Sven.
I wonder who you are. Out trying to take us mine. All these haters out trying to take us mine. I heard about this bitch called Ruby. She be making moves to man that knew me. Ooh, I think I like her. I might have to wife her.
Yo, Pache FCT rolling in with the 38 months. Pache, hope you're doing good, brother. Hola, Mr. Sven, how you doing? Good luck. Thank you, man. Thank you. Things are pretty good. Lots of changes. Busy. Was under the weather a bit. Feeling better now. It's all good, man. It's all good. Was there no sound before? Hi, Sven. Do more betting and raising than calling, man. I'll try. I'm just such a station, though. I can't stop calling. Eating some shrimp ravioli here at 3 p.m. Well, it's 5. Oh, shit. Fucking retard. I didn't have my laptop plugged in. And when my laptop's plugged in, it'll still go down in battery because thankfully it's 10% and now it's 9%. Good stuff. Good stuff, Sven. Good stuff. Good stuff, Sven. Good stuff, Sven. Good stuff, Sven. Good stuff, Sven. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. The fact that I'm raising like my full house with the king blocker isn't... That's a testament to population. That really is. And I think it's the right way to approach these. Like, fuck. Even if the solver says absolute purest... Battery's going. Battery's going. Battery's going. Nice river lead there. That was a nice river lead. That was cool. I guess he's just leading strictly to get me to be induced. I'm gonna cut the stream, I think, man. I need to save this battery. It's 5%, 4%. See you later. Sorry, Potvis, for the little... it's not a slow roll, bro. It's just me trying to get the table ready. I can already feel like I'm not going to take it well if an ace comes, but that's just a lack of prep. That's just me being a bit rusty. Maybe I shouldn't. 11%. So annoying, man. Oh, I need to upgrade my phone. Okay, look, man. We won't get into it. Yo, what's up? We are live on Twitch right now. A little bit of a higher ABI, less tables, some good tournaments. Let's get after it, shall we? Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Aces in the Zodiac, Dragon High Roller, and 10 minutes left of late reg. Baby, started from the bottom, now we on top. Fuck's sakes, man. Just a flat.
They don't even know, they be throwing shade everywhere.
It's kind of a good card. If he's got Queen Jack, Queen 10, Jack 10, he'll bluff. If he's got a king, he's got a king.
I tried to take my time, but it's not working. I'ma go and get mine. Money after met, money on my mind. Someone should have warned me this ain't fun. It's night, mess running through my mind. Someone should have warned you I am not that type. It's me, myself, and I until the day I die. Might smile up in your face, but I do not trust anything, not even my own side. They don't want you to fall, but I'm not falling. I'm rising above them all, and now they want my sauce, and now they singing my songs. What did you think I lost? Nah, my third game I strong, and now I'm smoking sauce on them all. Baby girl, we started from the bottom, now we on top of the globe. Can you see the world? You ain't gotta love me 'cause we got the sauce to secure the world. Yeah, I don't know who they are, I'm clueless. I don't know who the fuck I am choosing. You switch sides and then I keep it moving. I'm the greatest, I know they be choosing. I'm the greatest, I know I be crazy. Drinking lean and I lean moving crazy. One more Henny, I love it. 2020 is savage, it's funny. 2020, that's gang, that's fine. 2020, don't trust you in hell. 2020, that do not that regular. 2020, this gotta be savage. 2020, you gotta be savage. 2020, you gotta be bad. 2020, gon' feed you some drugs. You come up and you go and you straight back to hell. With the soul, kill 'em with the sauce, kill 'em with the sauce. I am Diddy, baby. I tried to take my time, but it's not working. I'ma go and get mine. Money after met, money on my mind. Someone should have warned me this ain't fun. It's night, mess running through my mind. Someone should have warned you I am not that type. It's me, myself, and I until the day I die. Might smile up in your face, but I do not trust anything, not even my own side. They don't want you to fall, but I'm not falling. I'm rising above them all, and now they want my sauce, and now they singing my songs. What did you think I lost? Nah, my third game I strong, and now I'm smoking sauce on them all. Baby girl, we started from the bottom, now we on top of the globe. Can you see the world? You ain't gotta love me 'cause we got the sauce to secure the world. Yeah, I don't know who they are, I'm clueless. I don't know who the fuck I am choosing. You switch sides and then I keep it moving. I'm the greatest, I know they be choosing. I'm the greatest, I know I be crazy. Drinking lean and I lean moving crazy. One more Henny, I love it. 2020 is savage, it's funny. 2020, that's gang, that's fine. 2020, don't trust you in hell. 2020, that do not that regular. 2020, this gotta be savage. 2020, you gotta be savage. 2020, you gotta be bad.
Please allow me to present our wise and incredibly magnificent ruler, King of Cat Kingdom, the Cat King.
Kill 'em with the sauce, kill 'em with the sauce. I am baby. I tried to take my time, but it's not working. I'ma go and get mine. Money I feel met, money on my mind. Someone should have warned me this ain't fun, it's night. Mares running through my mind. Someone should have warned you I am not that type. It's me, myself, and I until the day I die. My smile.
I mean, it's pretty fucking close to the nuts. Not even my own size. What flush draw have you checked calls? Like, poker's dead, lads. Poker's dead. Go down to the casino and play one hand every 15 minutes. Go play live poker where you get dealt fucking a hand every 15 fucking minutes. And just gamble with each other. Fucking yeah, man. Yeah. It's a $120 buy-in, like. It's all a fucking myth. Bunch of fucking dumbasses. You have to understand that 90% of people in poker that are the faces, they're on the camera. They're the faces, they're the voices. It's the only game. It's the only game where all those people don't know what they're talking about. You know? It's the only game. It's honestly the only game where we'd have this. But that's the beauty of the game. It's a very unique game, you know? It's a game where... Well, it's a game with a lot of variance, but it's the only... I'll tell you what's the kind of big core thing, and I don't want to call it a problem. I'll just call it a thing. Jesus Christ. We went check on the turn there after we check raise flop. Reasonably played by him, to be fair. So, it's the only game where you're gonna get a streamer who plays poker, and then they can get some revenue. What's here? I'll just fucking put the camera over here, mate. I'm always kind of lean towards this side anyway. Yeah, it's the only game where a streamer can play the game. Well, also other forms of gambling, to be fair. Because, like, if some guy's just playing slots on stream, he's obviously losing. But he can get paid for that. So, yeah, gambling is the only thing. It's not just poker. But poker is different than gambling. It's a skill game. It's basically a sport. So, yeah, sure, all of gambling is the same in the sense that someone can stream gambling, not be good at it, and it's irrelevant. The viewers don't care. Imagine I'm playing Dota, Hearthstone, Fortnite, Call of Duty, FIFA, chess, any fucking game. Imagine I'm shit at the game and I'm streaming it. I'm not gonna make any money from that. But in poker, you can. So it makes this weird thing. So now a lot of the people that have voices that have a fucking camera in front of them, they don't have a clue. But if you go into a space like fucking World of Warcraft, the people on the camera they fucking know what they're talking about. You know, so it's it's a very weird thing. You know, so what does that mean, Sven? What's your point? Everything you hear about poker is basically a lie if all the people talking about it don't have a clue, you know? Like me going around the EPT, I keep talking about this story, but me going around the EPT players party with a friend who was just getting into poker. Hey, such and such, hey, such and such, hey, such and such. This is my friend, they're getting into poker. You have any... I was hoping someone would kind of give some good advice. Every single person is like, no. You know, it's a players party, people are having drinks, people are cracking jokes. All these sponsored people are like, no. Play poker, actually play for profit. No, cheers, boys. You know, like that kind of vibe. And they were all wrong. I knew it at the time, it's proven now. Like, I mean, it's tricky. You know, someone pursues poker, they're gonna have some tough times. But is there anything that's just a fucking breeze? Yo, Tony, how we doing, brother? Good evening. Andre, how we doing, Andre? Good luck, boys. All in with the... Oh, shit. Ooh, ooh. And we got the hearts. Nice. This is the 88... Sorry, I should... This is an $88 10K guaranteed. And as you can see, top left, 26 left. Wow, we've loads of chips in the Zodiac now as well. Yeah, and I saw this content creator, Corey Earring. I didn't... Should we watch it together? Shall we watch it together? Yo, Broken Bones, how we doing, brother? How we fucking doing? Found a new... Well, it's a IMDb tune from... We're gonna just go to minimum actually, because there's a lot of backdoor flush draws that we can't get them off yet. We can't get them off yet. We do just get them to fold. That will target the min bet. Will put. Tell you what I don't like about the min bet actually, because maybe he just still peels a king queen off, king jack off, and dominates us. Queen jack off. He should just let go of a lot of the fucking offsuit stuff that whiffs. The backdoor flush draws, they're not going to fold versus like 2.5 bigs even. And maybe they will actually, but you know, I'd rather just get that done on the turn. Yeah, anyway, this Corey Earring guy. Now, I don't know what could be a bad idea, but I'm just curious because it's quite relevant to the topic. This is another content creator in poker. You know, never really thought he, you know, honestly, nah, I mean, I don't need to start giving him shit. I've seen a couple of hand histories. I've never thought like, oh, he's, you know, something. Anyway, he made a new video saying, I want to quit poker. Well, now let's see what this...
I do not want to do this anymore. It's not...
It could be clickbait. It could be a bunch of nonsense, but let's see what this little phony has to say anyway. And look, man, you know...
It's not a joke. It's not clickbait.
Oh, is it not? All right.
Want to quit poker. Of poker because I have time on my hands. So I've been going to chasers nearly every day for a few hours a day, trying to get repetitions at low stakes. I feel like I am behind other people in life. I'm comparing myself to all of these people who are playing 100, 200, or making millions of dollars. And here I am, I can't even eat a hamburger, and I'm playing for $200 at my local casino. It was a very...
Right, I'm already getting married parents, rich, like what is... He wants to start at level 20. Do you want to start at level 20 just because when you came out your mother's womb, you were already fucking financially on level 20? What are you talking about? There's a start to everything. Anyway, sorry, mate, I could be wrong here.
Unhealthy frame of mind to have.
It's a fucking ridiculous frame of mind to have. You have to start. What are you so entitled for? Start. You playing? We're playing free rolls. Most of us in here are playing 5 cent, fucking 2 cent, 9.90 man, 2 cent on Poker Stars, $4.50 up top. What are you talking about? Loving every second of it. Loving it, man. Little Phil Galfon video, little Xflix video, grinding my free rolls, grinding my 2 cent fucking. What are you talking about? Anyway, crazy. What is he, like, what's the, anyway, he could, I should give him a bit of a chance.
It made me question if I'm even good enough to beat low stakes poker. If I can't even beat Bill, who's 6 beers deep and only plays on weekends, how the fuck am I gonna beat the best in the world? Losing is part of poker. You're gonna have to get used to it if you want to play for a living. But a lot of things that he's saying about the psychological side, like he's admitting it's a bad mindset, like I don't know. It really doesn't feel good when you're at the bottom of the barrel and you still can't seem to book a win.
I'm pissed. I'm fucking pissed.
I'm sitting in my room questioning if I even know what...
But you know, getting better, if you're at the bottom of the barrel and you're getting crushed, number one, you want to be... And I'm not saying you should need to get better, but that's where your mind should be going, right? Get better.
What the hell I'm doing? But I kept showing up. And after
Yeah, you know, another thing as well, like getting a little 3-second clip of some graph doesn't mean you're actually studying, you know. A
few weeks,
there's a lot of phonies out there.
I found that I was booking some wins.
Okay.
And then Abby sends me a text. She said, "Do you want to play in the Lodge live stream next week?" I hadn't been out of the house in a month, so I said, "Sure." I've won $3,500 at low stakes poker this month, so I used a good chunk of that to buy a plane ticket and head down to Austin, Texas. It's been a while since I've been on the big screen. This one will be for a less amount of money, but it's no insignificant amount of change. The buy-in is
Look, I'm sure the guy could have made a real banger of a video here for some of you, and I was thinking of skipping to the end to get to his point, but I guess some of you might want to actually watch the video. But like, I just really interested in like, what's his point? Like, why does he want to quit poker? Because he just doesn't like it. That's fair enough. You don't like it or whatever. But ooh,
$1,000, and I'm going to bring 3 buy-ins with me. So everything I've won in the past month will be risked today.
That's a good idea. Why would you do that? And then he lost. Is that why he wants to quit? Because he took his whole roll and put it on the table and lost, and now he wants to quit? All right.
I haven't been here in a year since I folded in a $17,000 pot.
He lays it down. Is he going to show the 5 deuce?
The man commentating that clip is Slick Rick.
You know, I spent 5 years of my life in man.
No kidding.
We grew up in the same area. He played Little League Baseball with Adam Sandler. Of myself. Everyone online says that, "Oh, I would have done this or I would have done that. It's so easy. Man, you suck." But they're sitting on the couch in the comfort of their home, watching graphics where the cards literally tell you what they have.
They're the dumbest, yeah. But that's the lowest common denominator of people right there. You can't just win every multi-way all in. You can't just win every multi-way. Do we win anything against the ace-4 here? Is Taiwanese guy losing his mind? No, he's not.
A lot of information that the players don't. And it's very difficult when you're sitting in the game with all these cameras and lights on you. It's like watching a stand-up comedian bomb a joke. You think it's so easy.
Get out the kitchen, brother!
Hands missed. I was putting the hand together myself, like some of your draws.
Like, so you're a guy who... So basically, he's a guy who can't beat a live 2-5 game. There's no... Why is he here? Why is... What... Do you know what I'm trying to articulate here? Like... Okay, imagine some guy. Imagine some picture some fat slob, right? Picture some kind of fat slob, looks really poor. He doesn't look like he's very well groomed. You know, he's got stains on his t-shirt. It's like him making a video about how I failed to be an Olympic sprinter. Oh, I want to quit my dream to be an Olympic sprinter. And you see this thumbnail says, I want to quit my dream to become an Olympic sprinter. And you don't notice, you don't see the guy in the thumbnail, but you click the video and then it's this fucking fat slob that, you know, couldn't even walk, let alone run or sprint for the Olympics. You'd be like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, sorry. Like cause he's talking about there, it's tricky in front of the cameras and stuff. Yes, because... Do you know who it's not tricky for in front of on the cameras? Antonius and Ivy and Dwan and the greats. They fucking thrive on camera. Of course it's not easy for you. You're fucking who the fuck are you? Why, of course. Of course. Why are you even on the fucking thing? No wonder you're absolutely struggling. All right.
Good one, like king, queen, or ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, this don't.
I don't think he's but he does.
Right, I did what I said I wasn't going to do, but let's just get to the point here.
Ladies! There you go, folks. The ladies.
And then a few people come up to me and say that they love my videos.
That one's gonna tilt me for literally the rest of time. Go for it.
What's up, dude? Appreciate it. I've been following you for over a year now. I've never studied somebody like on the internet so hard before.
And this is where the core issue from this comes. Him making a big thing, I want to quit poker. You know? It's got a game that has so much negative stigma around it. He's got a bunch of casual followers, just like this guy coming up to meet him. And he's going to put that image out. And that's why I'm saying, why, Corey? What is it? It's because you're a little fucking, you know? Because of your shortcomings, you're gonna, how many followers? 1 million or 500,000 or 300K or whatever? You're going to say to all of them, like, yeah, good on you, mate. Good on you. Anyway, let's.
We talk about your.
He's probably going to say in the end that he's not going to quit poker, and it was all clickbait. Like, even though
As
he's
I'm cashing out, 4 or 5 people just back to back to back to back.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it.
And it's this. It created this conflicting set of emotions where putting stuff online, I just get this immense backlash, and I'm really, really upset with it. But that same product leads to really positive interactions like this.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure, man. Hit with a reality check that people actually care about you. Man, I fucking hate losing. I'm so fucking bad at this game. I should trust my gut. I mean, Abby played great. Wants me to lose. Sucks, man. It sucks so bad.
There's just leading up into this desire to pursue something else. At some point, you got to look in the mirror and say, is this really for me? I told Skull Mike, the organizer of these live streams, that I would play 2 games back to back. Today was the small game. Tomorrow is 10.25. I'm buying in for $10,000, and I feel like garbage. I don't want to.
You're complete. What the fuck is? And the reason I pulled this video up, because I was saying how unique this space is. I mean, I don't want to look. I'm not saying he shouldn't be there. I'm nothing against this guy until he makes the big, like, you know, I want to quit poker. It's like, sure, the content creating stuff, put him on stream playing a lower stakes game. Or if he does play the big boy game, sell a lot of action or get ready to get fucking destroyed. Is he, you know, like, what is the expectation when someone like this who talks about struggling at the low stakes and they're local gets put into a big 10-25 game that
to play.
What is all of this?
I almost told him, look, I don't want to do this anymore. I almost backed out. But at the same time, if I walk away, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to realize the dream that I set out for myself back when I started playing poker 5 years ago.
All right, so he
Would
doesn't want to quit.
that kid look at me now and think that he's closer to his goal? But I went.
Just like everything, just like all sports and games and pursuits, you know, 5 years in, you know, people have been 10 years in and haven't made it in certain fields.
Home that night and I zoomed out and I said, Corey, look how far you've come. You're not where you want to be, but you're on the road to it. There's going to be hardship and trials and failures. It's going to hurt a lot, and that's what tonight is. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to succeed. It doesn't. The only way you don't succeed is by quitting. But my God, did I feel like quitting today, and I felt like quitting a lot. And it's just really challenging to keep going when you feel like nothing can go right. But I decided to stay in the game. I'm going to play tomorrow. I'm buying in for $10,000, and I'm playing against T1000.
All right,
Lays
all right.
it down. That play by T1000. Is he going to show the 5 deuce?
So the rematch is tomorrow. That's all I got. We're going to try to get a good night's sleep, and hopefully tomorrow goes.
So it was clickbait. So he's not going to quit poker. He's actually feeling fired up for this beautiful game. Like, sure, it's difficult, but that's what the whole hour-long thing is about. That he's wanted to quit, and it's difficult when he's losing. It's like crazy, and you know this is just a guy who's like playing super fucking. He'll like show up to the casino, he'll get his footage. His main grind is the content. Like, he's just playing these super low, little handful of fucking sessions, few hours, not many hands. Anyway, look, I'm probably coming across a bit of a prick now because it's just a guy having a little whinge, and I'm kind of criticizing him for having a little whinge. Jesus fucking Christ, though. Like, anyway, I guess look, he's making YouTube videos, whatever, man. It shouldn't go that deep, I guess. It shouldn't be that deep. He's just making YouTube videos, just a bit of clickbait kind of stuff. But I knew there was gonna be like. I knew there was going to be just nothing he could actually say, like, for a reason to quit poker. Like, I don't know, man. Yo, Egglesy, how we doing, brother? Yeah, low table count, higher ABI, chilling. But yeah, not, you know, having some fucking issues earlier with the stream as well. That was sickening. Definitely fucking put us off track. But yeah, all good, man. Gonna be playing some really high level poker, or trying to. Corey, mate. Jesus Christ. And how are you 5 years? It's just sickens me, man. Just stay in the. Okay, whatever, man. I was about to say stay in my lane, stay in your lane, but he is in his lane. He's making YouTube videos. I'm yapping. There's a lot of elements that piss me off, though. Like, how easy was that guy's life? It's a fucking game. You go grind it, you get better at it. Obviously, he's been a lazy bastard because he's 5 years in. And, like, you know, man. That's alright. Like, he could have had other stuff going on. He's committed. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If you go in down the... If you're more focused on YouTube than your poker, of course, probably started doing the content stuff very early, you know? But, like... So now you're kind of complaining or feeling sorry for yourself because you're struggling in a really competitive game that's a skill game because you've barely worked at it. You seem to get very defeated when you lose. It just gives off I don't know, man. Gives off wealthy vibes, like, you know. How can you be so entitled to have such a smooth... You're so blessed, like. So blessed. He's so blessed. Same way I'm so blessed. So yeah, you can let the game piss you off, but making an hour-long video about, what is it? I am quitting poker? When poker's just... Like, what kind of message is that? That's not giving off a message like poker is the most amazing thing. It's the most amazing lifestyle and profession. That doesn't give off that message. You know? It's big boy stuff. It's big boy stuff. Poker's big boy stuff, man. Big character stuff, you know? Big characters. Little whinger, man. I didn't really like all of that. Just in the sense of the message and what fucking shit he's yapping about and the substance to what he's yapping about. The actual video, I'm sure, well edited, lots of good footage, this and that. Probably like a good, like it's easy to kind of follow along. A well-made video or movie, it's kind of one thing goes to the other thing. Like all of that could be on point. But yeah, the actual substance to what he's talking about is just nonsense. Yo, Holden, how we doing, brother? What's up, Jojo, Beachy? Thanks for ruining my day, Jojo says. Jojo hates Sean Murphy, the snooker player, and I found the cringiest video of the guy. I definitely am more on board disliking him now. Not that I have anything against someone having a bit of a dance, but he does give off some very pompous vibes. The hate watch will be on for Murphy. Do you drink, Sven, or teetotal? No, I drink. I drink. I've always, I've never really had an issue with drink because I've never really liked it that much. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I enjoy the social aspect, the good session. It's a huge distraction. It's a huge fucking liability. It's a huge disruptor. It's a huge money waster. But yeah, a bit of a drink. Why not, man? Some of the best times of my life involved alcohol. 31 bigs in the Zodiac Dragon High Roller, lads. Come on now. Sorry, you know, like... Like he, just about going back to Corey Earing, it's like he doesn't get that he's completely, like, you should be a bit more mentally prepared and selling a lot of your action. If you are aware that you're at this level of the ladder, he's getting this big game completely like through the content, or in other words, like artificially. Like it's not from grinding up through the stakes. You know? He's a 1-2 guy or a 2-5 guy. And you know, being a content creator and him networking with other good players or, you know, more legit players, that'll be good for him. He'll mix with them, he'll talk poker with them, he'll get better. And he probably is at a certain level now from that kind of networking. But if you're, you have to, like, no shit, you're gonna get chewed up and spat out. You're playing fucking, you're playing 10k deep. You know, you should have moved down from fucking 2-5 by the sounds of it, and now you're playing 10-25, which is whatever. Sell some action, and don't go on a big feeling sorry for yourself rant when you get fucking stacked every time, and when you make a shit fold on stream. It's a very, very intense, immersive game. It's fucked. We can't see each other's cards. We're all sat on a table looking at each other. It's savage. It's savage. So like, yeah, maybe just have a different title, man. Like, this insane game is pushing me to the edge. Am I following the Club World Cup? I honestly wish I was watching more of it. I have been watching the highlights. Actually, on my other stream, we've been watching some highlights while we're waiting for the EA Sports servers. On my other channel, I mean, just give that a little plug. Svenism. So yeah, you want to see me play some FIFA? Do you want to see me play some FIFA? Follow the other channel, Svenism. But yeah, over there I've been getting a playlist of all the highlights and watching them. I'm a little bit annoyed at myself for listening. Listening to people can always be dangerous, while at the same time it's one of the most important things in the world. So I don't know what to say about it, but I definitely listen to people, even subconsciously, all the negativity about the Club World Cup. And I don't blame the people who talked about it as well. We all just assumed it was going to be a bit of a shit show. But yeah, all the negativity kind of subconsciously made me just disregard it, you know? Yeah, there you go, man. I mean, I'm just a bit of a stickler for the old, you know... Well, you know... he's in a very privileged position in poker, so when I see someone like that saying, like, I want to quit poker, it's like, you want to quit poker? You want to quit? What about the Belarusian guy who's actually doing it? What about the guy in Arizona who's actually doing it, you know? Like, without any support, without any fucking, like, sponsors and this and that flooded in, and, like, shots in big games, and people just buying action when you're losing in these games. Like, it's a very privileged position to be talking about, like, to say anything negative. So I basically pulled that video. I had it in my mind that I'm gonna watch that video just to see, like, if he says anything negative about the game. Yeah. But he didn't really, because there is nothing really negative to say about it. Just feeling sorry for himself for losing. 3-bet and 5-deuce suited here. It would be annoying if he just had a hand, like, it's so sick. When he's opening into this big blind, really? Oh my god, that's why he's a massive fucking fish, like. Yeah, well done, mate, well done. And look, you just, you know, you just have to, you know, it's, I get it, you know, I understand if you're like, well, he just has ace queen, what's wrong? What's wrong? It's because he, you know, like, he should open queen deuce suited there. If he, you know, it's fine to open queen 5 suited or queen 4 suited when the big blind's that shallow. And people just won't, and that's okay. And I'm thinking they will. That's my bad. Right. Oxford Pompey, first game of the season, go on. I need to chill out on my... Chill out a bit, it's tricky, man. It's very hard not to have resentful feelings towards him, like, it's very hard, you know, it's just if some dude sitting there on his iPad or whatever, he's plays the game casually, like, it's not that deep. He's just, like, kind of shit at the game, and that like, annoys me, though, like, shouldn't. Like, everyone playing bounty tournaments, and they just can't. The guy's got it's a $25 to min bounty, by the way. It's a 108 buy-in. Motherfucker has $71 on 4 big blinds, and fucking Brazil can't fucking find a light open into a $70 4 big blind. This guy can't find a light lead. It's just everywhere, man. It's just everywhere. There's our huge stack against another fucking simpleton. Great. There was a fucking monster stack against... Gone. So the game is so... It's a lot, you know, it's... The anger is at myself, you know? The anger's at myself, really. And look, man, it's so sick. Cause that's how it is. People look at their hand. Let me rephrase this. People only do stuff when their hand matches the flop, and that's normal. That's a human approach to this very, very deep game. The way the game is played well and correctly, and the reason the solvers are so beneficial, and the reason you just see it, like if you could see a graph of players, or like not a graph, but a, what would you call it, like a visualization of like all players, I guess it would be a graph, and it would show the more studied ones, and it would also have a line of profit from the game. It would end all debates about, oh, should I use GTO? You know, so you know, yeah, Theory's great, of course. It's fucking great. And yeah, that's how the game should be played. Using Theory, and Theory's aggressive. Do you know why Theory's aggressive? Do you know why the solver is aggressive? The solver goes, oh, these humans are playing a game. These humans are asking us how to play this game that they play. They can't see each other's cards. These humans are playing a game where they can't see each other's cards. So we are going to identify when ranges get weak, and we're going to put pressure on, and we're going to win pots here, there, everywhere. That's what good poker is. And the reason I'm always just getting all fucking... because I'm here with 7 other players on every fucking table. And all 7 of these guys, all fucking 6 of these guys, none of them are doing the stuff. They're only doing stuff when their hand matches the board. But like when the guy leads 7-6-5, 10-9 is such a great lead there. You have 10-9. It doesn't hit the board. They'll see 10-9 and they'll think they've whiffed completely. 10-9 is the perfect sweet spot of equity to lead on the 7-6-5. Why? Well, first of all, you lead a quarter. You're generating a bunch of folds. My queen jack, my queen 10, my king jack on the 7-6-5. I'm out of there. So the lead is a great play. But you're just missing out on so much if you're not going to do it with the 10-9 or the jack 9. You get jack 9, you lead a quarter. All you have is 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. Oh, sorry, jack 9's a gutter. 10-9's a gutter. Bad example. I'm talking about jack 10. Jack 10, perfect example there. The little kind of backdoor lead. You know, the backdoor lead. So you lead jack 10, you get your opponent to fold queen jack. You lead 7-6-5 with jack 10, your opponent folds queen jack. What a great play. Also, let's say you lead jack 10 on 7-6-5, your opponent calls, turns an 8. Now, you can bet again. The board's 8-7-6-5, you've got jack 10, beautiful bluff. Your opponent doesn't fathom any bluffs. What are bluffs on 8-7-6-5 now after he's led the flop? Jack 10, little gutter to the nuts. Beautiful. None of this is anywhere. And if I just every hand understood that none of this is anywhere, I just wouldn't have losing sessions. And then every time I'm in the shower before a session, it's like, right, let's get it on point against these guys. We know the drill. They don't do this. They only do this. But then you get these spots in game to be like, okay. And it's always the same. And that's you can essentially lose your fucking mind, like you see me doing. Do you think I reckon I'd always play poker, Tony. But poker is just this. I don't know. It's like it's an asset. It's like a trade. It's like having a degree in a way. But yeah, even if I venture into some business, like if I don't make it big time, sure, I'd be playing poker. You know, because it's always just going to be a great way to make money. But if I do go big time, I'd be playing it more casually, or maybe like Talal Shakurchi, I'd be still ballad. I think there's nothing stopping me going down as one of the real. There isn't, and that's a tricky thing to say. You know, it's a tricky thing to say, and I know how that may come across, but learned the rules at 17, had no pressure, had a very kind of broken family, which leads to no pressure. It's just me and mom, she's super chill. There was no pressure, there was a lot of support. I was showing signs of like really healthy signs at 18. I already knew I was going to do well. I've just been so like, just learning, chatting. It's just, there's nothing to say, you know. There's more chance of it being me than anyone else in my mind. Like even hell, you know, like whoever the fuck it is, but yeah. So I definitely am gonna have unfinished business like forever. You know, I'll probably one day, like even when it becomes the time to. Like let's say I'm a 45-year-old dude or a 55-year-old dude. Hopefully, if I make it, I'll probably have 6 or 7 bracelets. So I'll always be trying to get more. There's always going to be that trying to get more and more, you know. Do you know what's like? Yeah, I don't know. I just hope poker will be okay, because technology's gonna be in the casino too, you know? They'll have ways around that though. Oh boys, it's been a oh man, just haven't been. I've been super fired up. I've been a little bit. It's the other day as well, man. I fired up a stream. I did 5 hours and just yapped the whole way through. It's fine, but it doesn't feel good. It feels like a bit of a, Wanted to really dive in. But you know what? Our battery went dead right when we fired up the session as usual because we didn't have our laptop plugged in. And then we plugged it in. We plugged it in at 10% battery and it just went 9, 8, 7 and then went black even with the charger plugged in. But I realized there's this secondary fucking charger that I plugged the laptop charger in on top, which makes the fucking power way weaker. So then I fucking realized that. So fucking stupid, man. Yo, Bruty, what's up, man? Thank you. Thank you, brother. Ah, that's so sad. That's so sad. I mean, we had a bunch of equity against the 7-4. Just the King 8 that we jammed. It's just so sickening. It's just so sickening that we don't. Of course, when we jam King 8 there, against most of the time we're going to get a snap fold. Sometimes we'll get someone to call off some kind of lower equity stuff. Or even an 8 that we beat. Sometimes they'll have Jack 8 that stacks off and we'll hold with our King 8 high. But no, it's just top pair and an open ender. That's all the fucking Taiwanese nit can find is top pair and an open ender. Well done, mate. Yo, Dave, thank you, mate. Too much yapping, lads. Next time, less yapping. Diamond! Another fucking shit cunt, by the way. Another shit cunt. Got the 215 bounty builder coming up, right? That's cool. I mean, we should. No, actually, wait. Whoa. Yeah. No. Scratch that. See, because you know what happens with the yapping? I miss a lot of tournaments. When I'm yapping, I'm missing tournaments. When I'm watching the couriering guy fucking whinge about losing some fucking poker hands, like, you know, it's not good. It's not good. Not good. Yeah, no. Being able to, playing poker is such a fucking privileged thing. Like, not having a boss. So like. And I don't want to, I'm not here bragging about that. I'm just saying, like, I'd want these, because obviously I see the content creators as, not in a full bitter way. I get a little bit bitter about them, like, kind of thinking that they're at some certain level just because they're there. You know, some of these guys, but some of them actually are. Like, I really like a lot of the, like, 2-card Tito or, well, also, I'm not sure about him yet, but like that King of Argentina guy. Some guys are great. They do great content. They're fucking super into poker. They know how to exploit their opponents. They're playing big, good live games. They're printing. They have 40K lost nights. They have 20K lost nights, but overall, they're selling their action. They're doing good. But yeah, some of the more privileged content creators, they better make sure they're not fucking, you know, being too negative about something because, you know, imagine, bless her, imagine like Abby Poker making a video about, I want to quit poker. It's been a bit of a struggle. I won't say anymore, but could you know what I'm saying? She wouldn't. She's got more self-awareness than that. She's a smart girl, it seems. And she seems into the game. She seems like she enjoys the process. If you're not enjoying the process, you know, the process is a very, very enjoyable thing. You know, that's a very enjoyable thing. But like, what would people start saying if someone, you know, saying like, oh, I'm struggling, just like Corey Ehring. It's like, excuse me, mate. Do you want to, you know, maybe give your 10-25 spot to you? Because Corey Ehring says he's grinding and struggling in his local casino. There's some regs in his local casino that probably their bread and butter is the 2-5, 5-10 in that local. Give them your fucking 10-25 spot. They'll fucking pounce on it. They'll sell 50 to their mate, and they'll fucking grind it out, and they'll fucking, you know, you're getting handed these spots. Be a little bit more respectful to the game and the situation you're in. Even though, you know, a big part of it is his great content platforming him. And this is the thing. Getting into content, there's no real specific, but you just know you're going to get stepping stones put in front of you. You're going to network. That's the thing that comes out of content. I think it's a great thing to do. It's a great thing to get involved in. But yeah. You know, the landscape of poker might change. Maybe in a couple of years. Maybe we're just towards the end of like everyone kind of this weird thing where people don't care about skill and people just want to see cowboy hats and pints of beer. Like, but maybe it will get a bit more like, you know, people enjoy watching like Foxen and Kuhn playing a hand together. Like when Foxen and Kuhn are playing a hand together in some fucking 100K buy-in, we can see their cards. It's amazing. But then someone in the comments will be like, oh, these modern pros. Mate, Johnny Chan, bless him. Pokers came so far along. Oh, I heard a really good fucking analogy with it as well. Yeah, it was Chidwick. I'm glad I remember. Chidwick's fucking analogy for poker and the evolution of it was like MMA. He said it's like MMA. At the start of MMA, there was like boxers and there was wrestlers. And it's kind of like you're kind of one or the other, kind of, you're kind of one style or the other style. And that's like the kind of theory guys and the old school guys, probably back when the young kids first started studying, maybe, you know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. Or, well, they had their own forms of studying way before that, of course. But then, as MMA developed, like so 15 years, 20 years ago in poker, the best kind of was split into two. The best players would have the kind of old school guys like the D-Negs and that were still about and the Ivies. And then there was the new kids on the block that would be like the Robles, the Galfons. It was like one or the other. And in MMA, there was like the wrestlers and the boxers. But now, in MMA and in poker, today, who's at the top? The well-rounded guys. The well-rounded guys. You know, like... And I mean like it's exploit versus theory, really. Like the wrestling and boxing is like exploit and theory. Best players in the world now, they have both. Best fighters are well-rounded, you know? So best poker players are also well-rounded, I would... It's not this like, do we exploit them or do we GTO? Did you feel me? Yeah, Chidwick knows what's up, man. Right, let me catch up on chat in a sec. What's going on here? Mate, what ABI would you say is optimal for a winning player wanting to earn around 3K a month? Well, it depends where you're a winning player. A winning player is... you know... Yeah, but I used to use that term a lot as well. Winning players versus losing players. But obviously there's a difference between someone who beats a 2-5 game, someone who beats $5 tournaments online, someone who beats 20. So like, it would depend. It would depend on what you're beating. But no, I could still answer the question in the dark a little bit. So wanting to earn, well, if you're talking about, okay, yeah, I'll just, so whatever, let's say you've got, whatever your ROI is on your set of games, let's say I've got well, how much is 3K a month is $30, sorry, no, 3K a month is 100 a day? No, well, that's playing every day, right? Well, if you're wanting to earn 3K a month, and let's say you want to play 25 days of the month, you'd want, and so then you need to make like 110, 120 a day. He's going to be live with a jack or maybe a flush. Yeah, he's live. Nice. Very nice, boys. Like, we lose that. Late reg is just closing as this hand is playing out. Probably about 20 paid or something. So to make it, well, we'll just do to make 100 a day, just to make the maths easier. That would be like 10. If you have $1,000 in buy-ins with a 10% ROI, there's your $100 in theory. You know, whatever your return on investment is, you take your buy-ins, you take your return on investment. You know, and the you know, it was my friend Sweeney that really kind of drilled that into my head about like, he'd never really want to sell action, never want to get staked, never, just a complete own dimer, real belief in his own ability, and really understood that, hey, if he puts in these buy-ins and he's got this ROI, he's going to make X amount, and he figured it out, and he fucking grinded, and he became a millionaire at one point. I'm sure, like, you know, keeping the money's harder than making it, but he went way beyond 1 million for a while, so you gotta respect that. But yeah, no, this is the thing, man. There's too much. That's Tony. The issue is, mate, you're there, kind of looking at the end. You're skipping the whole process. You're focusing too much on the end thing. You know, like, you can't just kind of. So realistically, if you're talking about online games, yeah, you're saying ABI, so average buy-in of tournaments. But of course, live tournaments and online tournaments are totally different thing. If it's online tournaments, I'd say you could get quite a high volume of a $10 ABI. You could do 400 buy-ins. You could do $400 in buy-ins. You could have a $10 ABI. That could have some, like, at the best 25 bucker kind of freeze out, the GG Masters freeze out, which isn't that hard to beat. You know, you got some decent kind of fundamentals. You know how to exploit people. You know how to play against people who are too loose. You know how to play against people who aren't bluffing. And it's another thing about bluffing, man. Like, someone said it in an Instagram reel today. What everyone doesn't get about bluffs, on rivers, people are supposed to turn showdown into bluffs. Wow. No one does that. No one. And the guy in the Instagram reel made a really good point. He was playing a live hand. He had like ace queen suited. He bets ace 7-6. He bets again on a 9. He bets again on a 7. Guy jams. He obviously folds. But the thing he said, it's a super easy fold. But the thing he said was like, people don't turn any showdown into bluffs here. Like people in live poker don't, but some of the good regs do. Like Gruz Kukuruz will have studied the game to an extent where he'll. But like, what is the real definition of someone just not bluffing the river. I mean, people don't even bluff no showdown, but like, people not bluffing showdown alone. Like, there's so many hands that people will auto check back. They will never think in a million years it's a bluff. It'll be like fourth pair or third pair in some spot where the flush gets there or straight gets there. And they're like, it's the worst hand they're ever going to have in that spot, but they'll snap check it. That already makes for drastic underbluffing going on. So you better be careful on rivers. Like when you're getting raised, there's people are betting, right? Now you add in all of the fucking complete air that they don't bluff as well. It's ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. So yeah, having the experience and maturity to understand all of this, navigating across games, you do fucking well, man. Online tournaments, like, you have the right approach to these tournaments. So yeah, but anyway, yeah. So $10 ABI, because anything higher is just going to be a little bit too, you know, advanced. You're kind of starting in the deep end a bit too much, I think, at like a $20 ABI. But playing tournaments from like the best 25 buckers and the best 5 buckers, and then a bunch of like 8s and 10s and whatever, they're going to be really soft. They're going to have a lot of whales from all corners of the globe. But yeah, that's still like a bit of a grind. That's $40 a day. You want to times that by, that's just, you know, $1,200 a month or something we're talking about then. Luke says, pretty beautiful skill to have. One day I hope to be at this level. I have similar thoughts in other regards in my life. There you go. Which I just have such little worries because of the shit that I'm good at. Blessing, really, yeah. Yeah, I think Luke kind of said what I was getting at there. But yeah, it's, you know, there shouldn't be too much focus. The amount of times my buddies over the years kind of hit me up about poker. There's good money in it, man. I might get into it. Like, is there good money in it? And I know you're already into it. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but like, too much kind of focus on the end of the journey is just gonna be an obstacle for sure. What do you prefer, exploit or GTO or a mix? Says Dave. Well, look, people who say that so let's say there's someone who doesn't understand GTO, they can't claim they're exploiting anyone. I mean, not true. They totally can. So someone who doesn't understand GTO and says they're an exploit player, they are way worse at exploits and way less accurate at exploiting than a GTO player. That's what a true exploit is, you know, deviating from a base point of the theory. If you don't know the theory, if you don't know like the kind of baseline strategy for a spot, you know, what hands should call, you know, that the computer just crunches this stuff based on loads of elements, as we know, but mainly it's about how much your hand fucking wins based on the fucking pot, based on how much they're bluffing. So that is really accurate. You know, computers are better at this stuff than humans, of course. So yeah, there is no just exploit. Today there's no one who's just exploit. And if you were to give me someone who's just exploit, say, oh, Texas Mike. Yeah, Texas Mike, you know, that's Texas Mike. You know, the only players you could tell me that claim to be zero theory and just exploit, they're fish. They're phonies and they're delusional, basically. So, you know, and here's the thing as well, man. Here's the fucking thing that might... so I naturally always felt like an exploit guy, right? I fucking didn't know what I was doing until the theory came into my life properly. Like, I would have really just thought as myself as the more kind of creative exploity, kind of doing my own thing, like before, like as a young man. The amount I've torched in like live cash games just from not really. Then you fast forward. I learned the theory for cash. I see how fucking tight we need to be everywhere. Well, now I'm actually exploiting people because now I can know how loose that is. Now I know how loose that open is. I thought I knew before. I'd look at people's showdowns before thinking, oh, this guy is a fucking fish. I'm gonna get it. But once you have the power and knowledge of the theory, now you look at something, you're like, I know exactly how loose or aggressive that is. So it's like, yeah, honestly, mate, I don't know what the thing is. I don't know what the thing is about theory. People need to sort it out. People need to sort themselves out. So yeah, I'm a mix, you know, which fair enough. That's what you said. You know, you said, am I GTO, exploit, or mix? But like, there isn't even any just GTO guys anymore. There's no guys who are GTO. That's the other thing. It's like, even the most nerdy, close-minded GTO guys that grinded my gears when I was trying to talk strategy with them a few years ago, today they're exploiting people. They've all got it. There's no one who's just, well, yeah, and this is the conception. Honestly, this is what so many casual people think. They think that a GTO player goes by the book. Oh, we do this here, so we're going to do this here. There was a bit of that 5 years ago, a bit of people just copy and pasting. And like, yeah, you're going to know the default. Like, let's say I know that this can jam for 42 bigs when it goes raise and button call. I'm going to jam my 42 bigs in. I know it's theory approved, right? Whatever. But yeah, like, getting into the weaves of post-flop and stuff, no one's just like... the most GTO guys are all GTO guys. Well, there are some kind of recreational people who are trying to apply GTO who are probably just trying to copy and paste it. But successful, any GTO guy who makes money from the game and kind of succeeds, which is kind of every GTO guy except for the kind of recreationals that are just trying to copy and paste stuff. Okay, what are we doing here? It's interesting. I'm just going to fold. It's very equity driven. We have a lot of natural continues on this board. Like, we're over folding in theory, but you know, he's theory will have bluffs on that turn. Human doesn't want to bluff me on that turn. I've got too much pair plus gutter plus open ender. 9-7. Yeah, I have a bunch of 2-pair and 3rd pairs, but on the turn they're not weak because they've got open enders and stuff. So I've got a bunch of like continues. So yeah. But what was I gonna fucking say there? To the fucking point. GTO guys. There's no GTO guys. There's no actual GTO guys that are just like not thinking about their opponent's range. Not thinking about how their opponent's playing. And if their opponent is like tighter or looser than the spot that they've studied, you know? But it's like, isn't it like, would you think a chess guy would ever get asked, hey, Magnus, do you just kind of play the man, or do you go by the computer engines, or is it a mixture of both? Here's an actual open from someone who understands how to play bounty tournaments. This guy on my left does suck, you know, but he has to wake up with like his ace-9 off or his king-4 suited. And he does just let us realize this time. Could be quite strong, to be fair. Could be like a ace-jack suited or something. But yeah, yeah. No, honestly, man, it just goes without saying that it's gonna be both. Anyone who's competent or is taking the game seriously, or anyone who's like truly interested in the game should be doing both. Nah, that's also not fair. Truly interested in the modern strategy. You can be interested in the game and completely disregard all of that, and just kind of be interested in the psychology and the looking in each other's eyes. That's fine. But yeah, if we're talking about strategy, if you're truly interested in the strategy of the game, you know, you'd have to be a bit of a phony to be disregarding the, again, poor choice of words. I just don't get it, man. Like, and I did loads of like, there's loads of times in my career where I was completely understudied, would go months without fucking checking a spot. But now I probably wouldn't go fucking 3 days. And now if I do go 3 or 4 days, it's like, come on, let's not get into these old habits. But I'm always just naturally curious, as you should be, man. Like, how could you not be curious if you're really trying to fucking get to a really high level strategically? You're off to Vegas, Adriano. Yo, good luck out there, brother. It's like anything, man. If a footballer retires and if a footballer's thinking about getting into management, he has to do his badges. You know, he has to do these courses to kind of, you know, mightn't be the best analogy, but he has to do these things he has to do his badges. And then he gets his badges done then he can be a coach. He doesn't need to use the stuff. He doesn't need to, like, in his first management job, you know, start using the stuff that he learned in the fucking, you know, or the same like in a profession or career, you get a degree, right? You get a fucking degree before you can kind of do your thing. You kind of, that's what the theory is like. You kind of earn your stripes by understanding how the fucking game works, because numbers. That's all it is. Because of numbers. Like, if you're disregarding theory, you're disregarding numbers a little bit, you know? You're disregarding the numbers a little bit too much. And there's loads of people who play poker and disregard the numbers. I play against them all the time. They have the fucking nuts. They bet 35% pot and they're closing the action. Crazy. You know, they're not in live games. Obviously, online the numbers are on the screen, so people are a little bit more competent. But people aren't tracking. They're just disregard. A lot of people playing live are just, and that must be very nice, sitting around, kind of clicking buttons, in a different way. You know, I'm not saying that it isn't nice. Like my best version of the game. If I'm sitting around playing live poker, playing poker in general. You know, I love getting consumed by it and thinking about what people are doing and how I'm going to react against them. But then there's other people who are just got some Candy Crush. They got their Tim Hortons fucking cup. Looking at their hand, playing a few hands, throwing chips in. You know, that's chill. That's chill. Can't be mad at that. It's chill, man. It's a very, very unique game. There's such a wide spectrum of players. And there's no barriers. No barriers between the top and the bottom players. You know? Phil Ivey can play a 1-2 meetup game. So then people are playing 1-2 with Phil Ivey. Some rich kid or some, you know, and that doesn't need to be a rich kid, but some kid who's at the low stakes could play the super high stakes game if, you know, he has the money. There's no barrier. And there's such a wide spectrum, you know, because in other sports and games, the spectrum isn't as wide because there's a much higher core skill level in all these other games, unless there might be some examples of really kind of popular, casual, fun games that people kind of get into. But like most people that get into COD or this or that, like or a sport, you know, there's going to be a core standard. There'll still be a bunch of people who are shit at the game, but not quite like poker. And I'm just saying that's amazing. And then on top of that, the no barrier thing. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like the only form of gambling that isn't like all the other forms of gambling. It's such a crazy thing, man, isn't it? The more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. Absolutely. Yeah, and the more you start to, and like learning theory, you can, sometimes something will be confusing. Sometimes something could piss you off. But then 2 months later, you're like, oh. Man, like theory's like really, like, I'll tell you what, man. It's still the fucking screenshot of my iPad. It's still the background of my iPad, because that's the iPad I brought to America when I went grinding live poker for 3 months. When I played live poker there for 3 months, I was studying a lot of DTO. I was watching a lot of Run It Once videos, because at first I was worried about falling behind online, being in America for 3 months, barely playing online, only the odd ACR session. But the opposite happened. When I got back from America and we went to the UK, I went on that huge upswing. It was really like $250,000 in 2 months or some shit, man. I don't know. Because, it was massive. I won the $1 Million Sunday. Obviously, loads of variance in that, but my game had leveled up so much. But anyway, forget all that. I knew I was going to sidetrack once I brought up America, but just about learning theory. And if you're someone out there that kind of is a little bit intimidated or overwhelmed by the whole thing about theory, this is a really good little example of a simple little thing really helped my fucking game. And I'm not going to remember everything. Well, I could fucking get my iPad. It's probably dead though. It's fucking been probably dead for a month. But it's a DTO screenshot. And my hand is ace-10 offsuit with the ace of diamonds. And all that happens in this the huge takeaway I got, it was like 40 bigs effective or something like that. And it might have been in a 3-bet pot. It's actually quite important. But anyway, we bet the flop. There's 2 diamonds on the flop. We've the ace of diamonds. We also have some backdoor straight draws. One of those boards. One of those boards where you could float your hand. Ace of diamonds, 10. Ace 10 off the ace of diamonds. Probably like queen 7-4 with 2 diamonds. Could be it. Be interesting now to see. It'd be great if I did remember the board as well. That would go to show how good of an idea it was to like put it as my cover. Anyway, punchline. We fold. Pure fold. You know what I was doing? Pure calling. I'm not going anywhere. I've got a backdoor nut flush draw. You know, I'm floating. You're not going to check raise me. Backdoor nut flush draw, backdoor straight draw, overcard. Pure fold. You know, a lot of theory is quite complicated, and it can be a bit overwhelming. But you start small, little things, but do a bit of button versus big blind. But I had to get to a certain, you know, I had to start getting comfortable with the app, you know, to kind of utilize it properly. You just kind of have to stick at it. I mean, I was using the free version of DTO for quite a long time because they gave me 20 free hands every day. You know, I'm not sure I think it was too many free hands, to be honest. They probably have it changed now. Maybe not. Exclamation DTO in the chat. Anyway, I promise this isn't all a big elaborate shill. But yeah, that's can you so that was just one little thing, and I didn't need to know anything. It was just a hand that ended on the flop. I was probably playing the hand on DTO. I c-bet a quarter after I 3-bet, queen 7-4. Guy raises me. I click call on DTO. Blunder. I go to check the frequencies. Just 100% fold. Life-changing. Life-changing. Like, obviously a bit of a dramatic way to put it, saying it's life-changing, but over the next couple of months you win some life-changing money. And also, like, that having such an impact on my career. Because imagine how many hands I was just torching and spewing off by continuing too wide on the flop. You know, that's... Anyway, so yeah, little things like that. Boom. Like, it can be a little tiny... It could be... If we went back years and years, I probably saw, like, that fucking ace... Probably the first time I saw that ace jack off is a fold under the gun 9-handed in some ranges I saw. I was like, wow. But it wasn't just that. Then I knew the point. Then I knew the line. You know, then I kind of know 8-handed. Then I know 9-handed plus 2. Then I can kind of estimate all these other positions. You know, it's like, I call that bit connecting the dots. So much of theory is connecting the dots. Sometimes I feel like I know every spot. I know what to do everywhere because I'm connecting the dots from other spots. That's actually a little bit dicey, and that's when I can overestimate myself, and then I do actually look into it, and I am a bit wrong, and things are very nuanced, but so much of it is just connecting the dots. Like, I can nail spots. The only reason I've nailed it is because I saw something similar, and then I saw something else similar, and it doesn't need to be that similar, but you see one spot that is a little bit similar, and then you kind of understand in that side of things. Then you see another spot that's a little bit similar. Next thing, it all comes together, and you're just comfortable in every fucking spot. Sorry, getting some music here. There we go. 30 left here, lads. We could get a dub. Could get an old double door. Let the world know. Oh no, really? Oh. Reload. What's the best way to study, in my opinion? There's levels. There's levels. So I'll tell you what I think's a reasonable path. Let's say, let's say someone's just asked that question. Someone had to kind of start from scratch. First, you want to be consuming. Well, first of all, you want to have the right attitude and approach. That Google and YouTube are your friend, and if you want it enough, you type into these search bars and you say, how to fucking free ranges, this, how to get good, the best, blah, blah, type shit in, you know? So you should be consuming YouTube and Twitch, mainly YouTube at first, right? You want to be looking at instructional videos. That's what I did. I had a playlist of YouTube videos. I'd love to go. We're going to sidetrack here if I go and look for them, but I bet you I could find a playlist on my YouTube that was all the first poker videos I was listening to. Some really basic shit in there, you know? But I never was too above looking at something too basic. I remember one time, good example here. Oh, I would love to remember his name, but Phil Gordon. Remember Phil Gordon? I was like quite new. I might have been 17, still 18. But I was probably 18 because I was starting to take things quite seriously. I think I just turned 18. And Phil Gordon, this old school poker player, who was not very, you know, like no offense to the guy, but he's some kind of nitty poker player. He probably did okay. He had this video on YouTube. And my friend was laughing at me for watching the video. Because he was like too above it or something. But I remember taking stuff away from the video, you know? So yeah, so I think Equilab is a good thing as well. So Equilab is free to download. It's just one of the tools that you can't use while you're playing, just so you don't fucking have it up while you're playing. It's a very simple tool, and I think that's when you're at the level where you want to start learning about equities. Because the game is about it's a game of equities. It's not a game of who's got the best hand, who's got the worst hand, black and white, and this. It's this fluid, flexible, equities moving. You know, a certain card comes on the turn, equities shift. Another card comes on the river, equities shift back. Because the equities shift, you lead now because the equities shifted. So, but that's all kind of the more advanced side of it. Equilab, you can just plug in a range of hands, and it'll tell you what the odds are to win. Like, first thing you could do is you can learn, okay, what's the odds of pocket eights against Jack 10 suited or whatever. But then you can, instead of just putting in one hand, you can plug in a range of hands. And I remember going on the ferry from Ireland to England. There was no Wi-Fi in the ferry. Like it was just too slow to do anything, or non-existent basically. You just wouldn't even connect. I was on Equilab, just not a whole lot of substance to what I was doing. Just kind of thinking about stuff and like. But the first time you want to actually try and analyze one of your own hands. But this is the way I did it before solvers were I was even aware of solvers. But get one of your hands, right? Get Equilab. Plug your hand in. Let's say your hand was Queen Jack of Spades. Put in Queen Jack of Spades. Pull up your opponent's range and just think about the hand you played and try and think about the opponent's range. Let's say it was like a river spotter or something. Click calculate. See where your Queen Jack of Spades, how it does overall. And the reason this is all really simple is You click calculate, your queen jack of spades 27%. Ooh. So actually 27 in your mind it might be like 50-50, that's why you wanted to call, but you plug in the hands. We're not, us humans can't really like think about everything and then assess how our equity is and mash it all up together. Plug in those hands, you'll realize that actually there are some hands you beat, but there's a lot of hands you don't beat. You start thinking of them, you plug them in, your queen jack of spades at 27% equity, maybe at a 20% equity, you know. I remember that being some of the first learning curves for me, is like me making some call on the river in a spot where the guy had just had infinite value hands, not really understanding it until I put it into Equilab, say, okay, he's got these, well, I guess he's got these as well, and I guess he can have all these flushes. I had this hand, calculate 18%, and also just for that extra visual kind of presence, there's a color to it. If it's less than 20%, it's red. If it's a little bit higher, it's orange. The green one. So you're seeing these reds, like comes up red. You plug it in, it's red. So you were fucking way wrong. That's level 1, you know. So yeah, that's the very start to it. And I think video content, there's such a level, there's so many levels to video content alone. I think you should just then start moving up to kind of a bit more advanced videos. The Poker Bank talks about all the fundamentals. I think this is the Phil Gordon video from back in the day that I watched when I was about 17 or 18.
Given that the texture of this board is dangerous, I think Butch has a weak hand. Otherwise, he'd have to bet to protect his hand. I've got top pair here, so I should bet to protect my hand, right? Well, actually, I'm going to check. You know, like, you can get why my friend's laughing at me watching this, but I just wanted to take away stuff from it. And he talks about something in this about, like, the gap between two hands. It was something that really just was a bit of an epiphany for me at the time as well. Like, you know, taught me to start thinking about hands and, like, doing a bit of range analysis. Let me explain. First, I'm very confident that my short-stacked opponent, KW, will make a bet at the pot even if he didn't hit this hand. Second, I've got the flush draw and a backdoor straight draw, which gives me a ton of outs even if I'm beat. If I only had top pair with no outs, I'd bet to protect. Remember, poker's a game of situations, not hard and fast rules. In this situation, I think the right play is to check. I'm really hoping that KW is going to bet. So that's level 1, basically. And level 1 is like level 1 YouTube content. There's plenty of it out there. The Poker Bank, though, is, yeah, nice. Just fucking... Here's the real... So basically, I've done a lot of yapping about this. You could just throw everything to the side that I've mentioned already and just go through this library of videos from the Poker Bank. Because this guy taught me a lot, like...
There are a ton of things.
And again, what
things you need to know if you want to play poker well, and tons of places to learn them.
But
when you're first starting out,
whoa,
it can be a little
I
bit
don't like
challenging.
that.
So today I want to share 6 of the key things that I knew when I first started playing poker. Let's get into it. Good morning.
That really pissed me off. It was changing the page. It kept playing the other video like a fucking glitch. Yeah, the Poker Bank, really great. But, like, what's with all that? Like, this is why I just think it's not a good sign when people are always asking about, like, oh, how do I get better at poker? That's a more legit question of, like...
There are a ton of things you need to know if you want to play poker well. And
you know, that's a more legit question of, like, what do you think is the best form of studying? But, like, so many people have came in saying, like, how do I get good at poker? Fucking having a desire to get good, first of all. You know, not just have a desire. People are asking, oh, so how do I get good at poker? Because they have a desire to get money from poker. They have a desire to be a poker player, but they don't have a desire to be good at poker. They just want whatever they will get for being good at poker. They don't want to be good at poker. They're just like, oh, I want to be a poker player, and I want the benefits of being a poker player, and I want money. How do I get good at poker to achieve those things? Just fucking don't even pursue it, you know? Let's start with the oldest videos here. So 11 years ago. Here we go, boys. Hang on. Big one. Important one here. 11 off the money. Look at this fucking library, man. Look at this 11-year-old library. Going back to the basics all the way to the newest ones. 7 months ago. Look, they're a bit less frequent now. And some really great stuff. Like this title here. Like they are getting more advanced as you know, in a decade. Of course they are. MDF is not GTO. That's actually a really interesting one that I'm probably going to fucking take a bunch away from. You know? So that's what I mean by this covers so much of the spectrum, this page. And I think this guy's name is James Sweeney, a.k.a. Split Suit. And I think if you hit the command split suit, like split suit, all one word. This guy's the fucking loser. This is pure. Talk about theory. This is a pure 4-bet jam in theory. All right, puta madre. Honestly, do it. Do it on him. Do it on the fucking. Do it on the little dweeb. Vamos! 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 What do we think about this fucking note? Fake passport! He's got the fucking fake passport note. Fucking twerp. You fucking little loser. Twice in the game he fucking 3-bets and he's fucking just... Alright, look. Let's get back to it. Let's fucking go! Let's go. But yeah, great stuff here. MDF means minimum defense frequency. And it's basically when that old thing of like people saying, oh, I'm too high up in my range to call. I have to have at least, I have to defend a certain part of my range. I have to defend the top of my range. There needs to be a minimum defense frequency, MDF. Which is like associated with being, that's basically one of the main kind of things you'd say about the issues with someone being too GTO. They'll make these MDF calls. They'll make these MDF calls. Now, I might disagree with some of his modern stuff, because now I'm, you know, at a level, you know, I'm at a certain level, so I might disagree with this stuff, but still gonna get, you know, you still can get loads from all of this. But yeah, but if it's like if no one's bluffing, I mean, let's have a look then. Let's fucking have a look.
There are a lot of intermediate and even advanced poker players that are convinced that MDF is GTO. And the truth of the matter is, that's simply not the case.
Yeah, I mean, let's hear him out.
Today we're going to talk about MDF, why it's not GTO, where these two numbers can differ massively, and what you should do about it instead. Let's get into it.
There is a lot of this stuff happening.
Good morning. How are we doing today? My name is James.
It's a nice one to bet fold. We block top pairs really nicely. But we don't have the equity. Like, we don't have any backdoor flush draws or stuff, so it's a nice one. Just going to check back the turn. We could do some stuff, but the ace of diamonds functions as kind of a bad card now on the turn, because that's a hand we'd fold out from, like, ace 8 of diamonds, peel and flop or something like that, or ace 10 of diamonds.
I'm Sweeney, AK Split Suit, and today we're going to talk about MDF, GTO, and all sorts of fun, nerdy things. Now, a lot of this discussion stems from my new book, GTO Gems 2, and I think it's really important when you're thinking about a defense strategy to understand what are some basic numbers you can look at. And one of the first numbers players come across is MDF, and that is just...
Ducky Pill, what's up, man? And yeah, of course, yeah, online versus live's crazy. Damn, I kind of well, let's see what he has. Okay, just the nuts, yeah.
Simply short for minimum defense frequency. And the nice thing is that the formula isn't too scary. The formula for MDF is simply pot size divided by pot size plus bet size. Now what MDF is attempting to do is tell you how much of your range you need to continue with.
Again, boys, don't be too intimidated by this. If you go back to videos he posted 11 years ago, it'll, you know, or it's, you know, like I said, and it's not the spectrum. It doesn't go like the oldest stuff's the least advanced and the newest stuff's the most advanced. Obviously, more of the modern stuff will be more advanced, but he still makes videos for different levels. He has simpler videos, but yeah, probably want to start from the oldest. He, you know, when I meet this guy, man, one day, I'm gonna have to give him so much fucking props. It'll be really cool. Probably not that hard to meet, also.
With either by calling or raising in order to ensure your opponent cannot auto profit from bluffing you excessively. And that's just simply because if you are constantly overfolding, it's extremely easy for any opponent who's paying even the slightest bit of attention to start over bluffing you and just simply turning any two cards into a profitable bluff.
Yes, but like, first you need someone paying attention, but like, how are they gonna even know though when it's such a small sample? Oh no, actually true, online it's not. Online people are gonna know, like, you start building up pots of people online, they're going to know. But at the live table, this is why it's like so OP live. People aren't... First of all, we know people aren't adjusting and exploiting you. But even if they're looking out for it, how can they just make an assumption because they saw you fold 3 different rivers over hours? You know, because these spots don't come up that often.
Bluff because, well, you're folding too much and they can make some very easy auto profit against you. Now, although MDF is loosely based around GTO,
bro, just throwing random
key
Spanish
issues that
into
we
the
really
mix.
have to be aware of. First is that an MDF calculation may differ significantly from the correct GTO defending frequency, and number 2 is that the frequency itself doesn't actually tell us which type of hands to defend with, nor how, right? Since defending simply means that we're not folding, but we could be raising, we could be calling, we could be doing a combination of both of those things, so just having a raw number to work with doesn't exactly tell us how to continue best. So with that said, let's take a closer look at developing some defense strategies both in position and out of position. So let's start with out of position first. We're going to take a very basic situation and compare what MDF numbers look like compared to GTO defense frequencies in a very basic situation. Button opens pre-flop, big blind defends, big blind checks to the button on the flop, and let's look at a couple of different c-bet sizes that the button could use and the appropriate MDF and GTO defense frequency that come out of the solver. So this table looks at 4 different possible c-bet sizes that the button could use, ranging from 33% pot all the way up to 125% pot, and what we notice is that the MDF number is consistently larger than the GTO defense frequency, right?
My mind's getting blown here, by the way.
Right, even against the...
So I didn't know there's 2 separate things here. So like, you know, you're defending this much of your range versus this pot size, or versus this bet. In theory, but what is the... Wait a second.
MDF is 67%, 2/3.
Well, but if... I don't know, I think it's a bit flawed, though.
But the GTO defense frequency is 57%. Even against the overbet, MDF is going to be 44%, but the GTO defense frequency is down lower again at 37%. So what we learned from analyzing data like this, and by the way, this kind of pattern comes up a lot, is that GTO defending frequencies are consistently lower than MDF calculated values. If we were to strictly use MDF to derive our flop defense in this scenario, we would be defending significantly too wide and carrying way too many hands into the turn. Now that all being said, formation is definitely going to play a role here, and there are a couple things that we can take away from that. First is that we do fold slightly more in general when the original opener was in earlier position, and obviously in this situation the opener was on the button, not early position. And also in general we fold slightly less when we are the small blind cold caller as opposed to the big blind cold caller, mostly because those two calling ranges tend to be significantly different. So for instance, if we modified this scenario where we were looking at the small blind as opposed to the big blind for the preflop defender, we would actually notice that the small blind is only folding playing a few
Thank
percentage
you, Luke.
points
Chat
above
soon, bro.
MDF. But if we actually change the spot altogether for big blind versus under the gun, now all of a sudden it's 15% above MDF. Now that all being said, MDF calculations aren't super far off in every single situation. For instance, if we switch it, instead of looking at out of position, we look at in position instead, what we actually notice is that defending frequencies correlate very closely to their respective MDF values when we're looking at in position as opposed to out of position. For instance, if we analyze the same chart we looked at earlier but flip it for an in position defense as opposed to an out of position defense against a c-bet, what we actually notice is that these numbers are very, very similar, right? Against a 33% sizing, MDF and GTO defense frequencies, the exact same. Even at the overbet, 44% for MDF, 43% for GTO defense frequency, those are extremely, extremely similar, and we notice this for all sizes within the spectrum. And just like out of position, even in position there are still going to be formational differences, but defending at around MDF value is fairly consistent when playing in position as the defender. And as an important side note, while we've been looking at single raise pots so far, you actually notice this exact same pattern come up in 3-bet pots as well. The in position defender in a 3-bet pot is going to defend close to MDF, while an out of position defender will be overfolding according to MDF to a degree that depends on the precise formation and also board texture. Alright, so at this point you should
say
have
he's
the
got
big
worse
picture
value.
idea
He's gonna
understood
bomb ace
that
queen.
Pure MDF calculations are not
Probably.
the exact same as pure GTO, and also that being out of position is going to influence the differences between those two numbers more significantly than being in position overall. And with all that being said, I think it would be helpful to go through an MDF thought experiment if you've never really gone through this and thought through this like this before. And by the way, again, a lot of this stuff is coming from my new book, GTO Gems 2, and I'm just going to read the full gem to you. This goes through the full thought experiment because I think it'll make it a little bit easier to follow. Now keep in mind that this is off the heels of noticing the out of position discrepancy, right? The situation where
I hate my flat,
facing a
by the way.
half
The
pot bet,
flat
the
shit, but
MDF
on the
is
turn we just lose.
67%, but the GTO defense frequency was just 57%. So many players struggle with the idea that the in position aggressor is now generating automatic profit when they continuation bet against us. They think to themselves, the point of GTO defense is to prevent our opponent from generating automatic profit, correct? And from the perspective of the entire game tree, the answer is of course yes. However, from the perspective of an individual hand, the answer is a clear no. Consider the following thought experiment, which exposes the weakness of MDF calculations. Imagine a spot where our opponent's range on the river is exclusively full houses. Our range is exclusively mid pairs, and our opponent bets pot on the river. First, what is our MDF? And second, what is our GTO correct defending frequency? According to MDF, we need to defend our mid pair 50% of the time, despite the fact that we will always lose when defending, right? Because MDF tries to make sure that your opponent cannot generate an auto profit, so it continues 50% of the time based upon their bet size, but of course we always lose when we do end up calling. Contrast that to the GTO correct defending frequency, which is 0%. GTO would never call if the EV is negative, even if the end result is automatic profit for villain. What we learn is that it is acceptable to give our opponent automatic profit. When the roles are reversed, our own strategy will generate an equivalent amount of automatic profit against villain. The net result in a perfect GTO game is 0 profit across the entire game tree. Automatic profit in individual hands is a common feature of GTO play, however, which is why the concept of MDF becomes unreliable. So I think with that thought experiment out of the way and all the
Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of hard to focus on it. That was a real kind of wordy one, but it's a good example there at the end. A good takeaways like the GTO MDF is way better than the MDF because the GTO MDF will show spots where the minimum defense frequency is 0, and that's. People would say that's kind of exploit. If you're never going to call in a spot, but that's the GTO adjusted MDF. MDF is like a maths thing. But yeah, anyway, right. I guess kind of get it. I kind of get it. Yeah, honestly, Gru's Kookaroos, man. I'm tired of it. I want to play again. I want to go back to the good old days where people were bluffing each other. So I encourage you, man. I'm waiting for you. I know it's coming. Start bluffing. I know you're good at it. Maybe you just don't want to bluff me, but start doing it, man. Start doing it. I encourage you, please. I want to, I want to start calling again. I'm a station. I don't want to fold. I want to call. Let me call. Should have just 3-bet though. It's really probably nasty flat, like especially if it's like people are going to be nitty behind. Because they're nitties. You know, it's funny though, like, is he's supposed to have a bluff now? He's supposed to have a bluff now. I mean, look. I'm wrong. I'm just a bit, because he can just get me to fold out under pairs. He could just bomb turn and I'll just fold my 7s and 6s and 5s and 4s. That's what I'd do if I was him. Interested to see what you think about that. If people are like, oh, how could you fold? How can you fold that hand? Generally fold a hand when you just don't beat anything, you know? You don't beat value, the guy's not bluffing. But he could bluff like a queen jack, king jack. There's this a weird one. You know, my instincts are basically second to none as well, so gotta just roll with it. And the thing is, I'm on stream. I probably shouldn't have showed my hand, but I'm on fucking stream. It's all exposed anyway. And I don't want to just call when I'm on stream. And then everything will brick. And then he'll jam the river, because he's got it. And then what am I going to do on the river? Now I'm going to fold on the river? No, I'm going to call down. So we're going to call the turn to fold the river, or call the turn to call the river again and lose to trips. Like, it doesn't sound like great options. Doesn't sound like great options at all. Seth says, without saying names, there's some streamers that are big on the MDF stuff. Yeah, for sure, man. I could imagine who you're talking about. Yeah, so if someone's not bluffing, then. But yeah, look, anyway, it's not about the entertainment value of those vids, because that one was definitely a bit boring, but it's there. You've got a whole fucking you know, what are these schools called? These colleges. You've got a college, you've got a school of poker there on that YouTube channel. You know, you want to do some lessons, you want to sit down and learn some stuff. It's all there for free. You know, you get to a certain level, you start using your DTO and whatnot. Stepping stones. I'm singing to you. I wanna let the world know. We were also blocking like the trip 10s is a weird one. You know, everything points towards stone cold call, but if I just think that it's not a spot where he wants to continue for a big size on double flush draw. But the thing is, man, it's, you know, we're getting a bit wishy-washy. At the end of the day, it's about range, you know, him breaking down my range. It's not a big field player thing. Nice that you hit that. It's not a big field player thing. If he knows that I can't continue my king jacks and king queens and my pocket 7s, pocket 6s, he'll just bet, will he? Well, that's what he's supposed to do. That's because that's what I do. I wanna let the world know.
Kill him with the sauce, kill him with the sauce. I am the baby. I tried to take my time, but it's not working. I'ma go and get mine. Money I for met, money on my mind. Someone should have warned me this ain't fun this night. Mess running through my mind. Someone should have warned you.
We got the we're max late reg in 26 poker. It's the Daily Asian Champs main event.
Kill him with the sauce, kill him with the sauce. I am lazy. I tried to take my time, but it's not working. I'ma go and get mine. Money I met, money on my mind. Someone should have warned me this ain't fun, it's night. Mares running through my mind. Someone should have warned you I am not that type. It's me, myself, and I until the day I die. Might smile up in your face, but I do not trust anything, not even my own side. They don't want you to fall, but I'm not falling, I'm rising above them all. And now they want my sauce, and now they singing my songs. What did you think I lost? Now my third game I strong, and now I'm smoking sauce on them all. Baby girl, we started from the bottom, now we on top of the globe. Can you see the world? Can you see the world? You ain't gotta love me 'cause we got the sauce, to cure the world. Yeah, I don't know who they are, I am clueless. I don't know who the fuck I am choosing. You switch sides and then I keep it moving. I'm the greatest, I know they be choosing. I'm the greatest, I know I be crazy. Drinking lean and I lean moving crazy. More Henny, I love it.
Yo, watching closely. Sorry I fucking didn't have the kick chat up. Hopefully you're still with us, man. Kick's just hard to. Usually no one's chatting there. Usually the only people chatting are like bots. So sorry, bro. Watching closely. If you're still with us, give me a shout. It says, hi Sven, what's Cambodia like? Great. I shared a video on my story today, an Instagram reel, where it's a guy saying Cambodia is the most underrated place he's ever been to. Obviously, I'd agree with that. It's the best place I've ever been to, and it's wouldn't be seen as that highly rated. Trust anything, not even my own side.
They don't want you to fall, but I'm not falling, I'm rising above them all. And now they want my sauce, and now they singing my songs. What did you think I lost? Now my third game I strong, and now I'm smoking sauce on them all. Baby girl, we started from the bottom, now we on top of the globe. Can you see the world? Can you see the world? You ain't gotta love me 'cause we got the sauce, to cure the world. Yeah, I don't know who they are, I am clueless. I don't know who the fuck I am choosing. You switch sides and then I keep it moving. I'm the greatest, I know they be choosing. I'm the greatest, I know I be crazy. Drinking lean and I lean moving crazy. More Henny, I love it. 2020 is savage, it's money. 2020, that's gang, that's fame. 2020, don't trust you in hell. 2020, that do not that regular. 2020, this gotta be savage. 2020, you gotta be savage. 2020, you gotta be bad. 2020, gon' feed you some drugs, you come up and you go and you straight back to hell.
Yeah, they always think that. They'll just and they're right to kind of think that, because they think, oh, big bad, he's got it, you know. Good on them. I wish I thought more like that instead of like, oh, he's got these bluffs, he's got this bluff, he's got that bluff, he could have pick do this, is it? Tough spot, probably, mate. Yes. Says, I think the reaction, obviously it's hard to tell, I'm not going to put much on it, but the reaction made me feel a bit better. I don't know, yeah. I think if he just had a worse hand and I just folded ace king like that, I think the reaction is to kind of laugh at me, you know? Not be like, what the fuck? Anyway, but still, I just don't like how I played the hand because I think we should 3-bet pre, so whatever. I'm a little annoyed about it. Shit, we're going after a fucking 3xer. That's a bit dodgy. He just he hasn't. Oh man, come on, dude, don't do that to me. Oh, he's just sat down, but yeah, that's what the 3x is. That's what it is. God, I'm such a retard. Aye. Running through my mind. Well, gotta call. They gotta call this one. Nah, I think we all know that. Spade me. Spade me. Out of late reg here. Oh, nice. We're in the money, lads. We did not have bubble protection. Here we go. Good luck. Baby girl, we started from the bottom. Now we on time. Nice line this. Nice turn check, I think. Right, lads. I'm not winning here in this heads-up match because of the rake. I don't think he is either. But you know, a bit of a reg battle for the stream. I mean, I love reg battling anyway, but it's annoying. Like, if I just, in theory, my hand is just a check, but I running through my mind. Someone should have warned you I am not that type. It's me, myself, and I until the day I die. Might smile up in your face, but I do not trust anything, not even my own side. They don't want you, they want you to fall. But I'm not falling, I'm rising above them. No, wait. He had... Lads, he had ace jack and he just checked it back and left. Fucking hell, things must be tough, mate. How long is it since Monday? He only got his rake back on Monday. Things already that tough on Thursday? Oh, bro. Ah, sorry, man. I'm just firing shots for no reason. The check back's a bit much, though, man. Jesus, like ace jack. I'll take it as a compliment, man. Too paranoid to value bet ace jack. Turn went check. River went check. He 3x's pre and big bets flop 3/4. Gotta less yapping, more focus, lads. Fucking yapping. Probably the last 20 hours of me on this channel has been just 18 and a half hours a yap, maybe 19 and a half. Yeah, you know, that's... It's once I start yapping about this game, I just, it doesn't stop, you know. Okay, we have a fun table up here, the one we're on now, because this guy's a bit of a wild one too. Oh shit, no, the ticking noise, Sven. Know what the ticking noise is, you silly bastard. Little bit risky to go non-all in. You know, thank God we flopped it. Could even go a bit smaller here, 6, you know, make it... Because he's got a... I mean, he might have a snug enough range, to be fair. He calls a 4x. We don't want to start making him fold stuff that's... Jacks is one of those hands, though, Ace Jack. We're just going to play for stacks, though, which, in other words, means I don't care if we lose. Because the best thing to do overall... And I want to rope him in this way a bit. We could end up checking the river, honestly. On a brick. Queen 10, King 10 spades, some 10-9 diamonds that peel flop. And turn. And then the river's a deuce, offsuit deuce, and we check the river then. So sad. So sad, boys. Don't waste some random Chinese dude. We 3-bet King Queen suited, big blind versus button. Vroom, 30 bigs, 4 bets. Like, we can't do anything. First time I saw someone fold King Queen suited versus... Oh, man. I'm just only realizing now. You know how ahead of his time Dan Coleman was? And I remember being so blown away by this back in the day. I forget. I could probably remember where it was. Probably like, oh, River's a fucking 2-pair. But he has King Queen of Hearts. He gets 3-bet by like Seaver or someone. And you know what? All he does, he finds the fold. But you know how he finds the fold? He just thinks it was a spot. It was probably, maybe it was like a really big tournament. Maybe it's a really big ICM. But like that was him just folding King Queen suited because Dan Coleman was a super aggressive heads up fuckboy, you know? D-gen and heads up sit and goes. Like someone who plays sit and goes got moves. Someone who plays heads up sit and goes, watch out for them. Watch them around your girl. You know, anyone who's played heads up sit and goes just plays the game on a different level because they know wide ranges. They know it's not all fucking nut peddling, camping out and under the gun with fucking queens all the time. Kicker does not play. Oh shit. What the fuck was I saying? I love how we're yapping again, but what was I saying? There is a way to unite chats, yeah, absolutely. It's just shittier. It's just a shittier thing. Uniting chats is on Restream, and it's... You know how bad it is? It doesn't even like split words. You know the way a computer would normally, if you're typing a sentence, it would normally like put a part of the sentence. It just has half the word on one line, and then half the word on another line. Right, good luck, boys. Going for the jugular here. He had King X of Hearts or 8X of Hearts or some Ace 10 of Hearts or some shit. Damn, I might have to. Right, well, fuck. We're 3-betting too small here. Good read. I'd also fold if someone 3-bet that small. Fuck's sake. Guess we'll let it go, man. I really wanted to raise turn there when he goes that size. Like, it's so fucking
bitch.
My eyes are red beyond my heart's completely blue. Staring out my window pane, but all I think about is
I
could write a million songs, but yo, this shit won't help me.
Oh, tough spot, yeah. I saw the second comment first, and then I read the first one, yeah. Yeah, I've also never called someone big bro. I think little bro's a little condescending too. I think bro is quite neutral, you're right. Tackle some nerds, absolutely tough spot. Jerv says, let me get this chat a bit.
My eyes are red cause my heart's completely gone. I just moved apartment, still the heads on all my things are blonde. So I stroll the wilderness when feeling pissed, I play this song. Seems I lost my lady, baby, tell me that I'm
Now, if I just focus and play solid poker, my stacks will rise across these tables. Hi Sven, would you say your 3-bet bluff frequency changed a lot pre and post late reg stages? Good question. Especially marginal 3-bet bluffs. Yeah, well. It's got an interesting spot to check raise, by the way. Especially marginal 3-bet bluffs. King 4 off and ace 4 off. Feels like players just run it with their 30 feet. I totally get you, Jarv. Feels like, I'll just read that last sentence instead of brushing over it. I just feel like players just run it with their 30-40 big blind stack pre-late reg so much more often. Hope you understand my question. Everyone's in this. Me personally, like, I just try and play good poker. So yeah, I just go on kind of theory and then I'll adjust from theory, but it doesn't really, like, the theory changes based on the stage of the tournament. So like, yeah, I mean it is a lot to talk about. I mean in late stage, if I cover people in late stage, I'm going to be 3-betting more. But anyway, the reason you're getting jammed on, the reason when you 3-bet, people just send their 30-40 bigs, there's a couple of things. First of all, I think the number one thing is it's a memory. You're letting a small bit of variance and a small sample of people having it when you 3-bet them. You're letting that get to you a bit. It's something we all do all the time. I'm not criticizing that. You know, like, that's just a bit of a feeling you have because, and now you pay attention to it, you're gonna start to have a memory bias towards the times people do 4-bet jam on you in the early stage, and you're gonna be like, see, I fucking knew it. They always fucking just send it. Everyone's in it, really. So you have to be careful when people are opening. People don't open enough hands. People don't 3-bet enough hands. But you're talking about us doing the 3-betting. Them doing the 3-betting is a whole other thing, you know, but you're talking about us doing the 3-betting. So what are we thinking about? We're thinking about their opening frequencies. We're thinking about their 4-bet frequencies. They don't open enough. They don't open enough. Which makes us want to 3-bet less. Hang on. But then when you consider how shit they are at 4-bet bluffing, how shit they are at defending against 3-bets, how shit they are post-flop in 3-bet pots. You want to 3-bet these guys in position, you're going to have a great time, you know? You know, they probably have, their ranges are probably too tight, some of them, but still, mate, when they 4-bet you, they have it. People get Delta Ace King a lot, mate. You know, people get Delta Ace King a lot. That's another thing I'll say. And you know what happens when they get Delta Ace King? They fucking jam it in your eye. And we have that little irritating feeling of like, but that's all it is. They got Delta Ace King. When they get Delta Ace 4 suited, they will crumble. You know, when it's an easy send for 40 bigs. Sorry, boys. We've just 3-bet check back to flop, and this guy's, I got a queen, or he's, well, either way, our check's perfect. That's why I check, man. Like, he's just took a big swing at the pot. When it's 67 VPIP Israel, he's just sat down, but still, when it's clearly fish Israel, it comes queen, queen, deuce. For us to c-bet a quarter, just because, oh, you know, we're going to c-bet a quarter. Why? Like, first of all, the guy can have... There's two things at play here for why you check against these guys. First of all, they're not going to notice. They're not going to get a read on your check. They're not going to extract information. Crazy. They're not going to extract information from your check. So, you know, like, because you just trap like the king jack suited, king 10 suited. But then you could say, well, why don't we just check kings against the regs too? And then we'll, you know, get EV from all of their, you know, hands that miss. Well, because the reg is just going to get a lot of information from your check. And the reg's just going to check raise bluffs anyway, so your kings is just going to benefit from a c-bet. Against a guy who's not going to check raise bluff, he's never going to pick up any info from your check. But here's the other thing. He's going to have extra 10-9 offsuit garbage, potentially, because he's a recreational, right? So if he's going to have the 10-9 offsuit, or whatever 6-4 suited, now we've loads of incentives to trap these garbage hands. Some players will just peel 3-bets with 6-4 suited and have zero, and there's nothing wrong with, like, I'm not expecting them to understand bluffing frequencies, but because they don't have a clue, they'll be seeing flops at 6-4 suited and then literally start bluffing every time their opponent checks. That's taking candy from a baby. You could send someone busto if you get enough action against them from them being that fucking punty, because you check your kings and your aces, you check your top pairs, and you've these people taken off. The guy at ace king, very strong hand pre. Weird that he doesn't want to get it in. Very weird that he's betting pot. You know, he bets 18 bigs into 24 bigs with ace king. What's he trying to do? Protect his hand for nearly full pot? But he doesn't fold. Nothing worse than ace king's going to call. Nothing better than ace king's going to fold. Well, I'm going to fold pocket nines now on the queen X. Such a train wreck hand. But anyway, I'm stating the obvious here a lot. A lot of you fucking know everything I'm yapping about. But, you know, don't be brainwashed into thinking you need to c-bet small when it's the 67 VPIP Israel who's like clearly... Or not him, but anyone. There's loads of these guys. Like, I could probably pick one example off every fucking table of someone you're just... like this 64 VPIP guy. This Chinese guy who's playing every hand. Now, he might be this kind of guy to get a read that we check this dry flop, but also when someone's playing too loose, they miss more, and they're going to have nothing even more. So you're checking some crazy player with no awareness who's going to miss the flop more. They're going to have a lot more nothing. So be careful c-betting your hands that need zero protection against these guys that their equity is overall lower. So if it's a hand that traditionally doesn't need protection, well, it needs even fucking less protection against these guys. They're even lower equity. So yeah, definitely trap those guys. But but if you're playing a real game against a competent player, don't just exclusively check back your kings or aces on boards thinking it's going to work. Because then you're going to start trying to bet or raise later, and it's going to be obvious as fuck. You know? Anyway, whatever. Yep. We're still in the mix here. We're clinging on. 12 left. 14,000 prize pool. Definitely could get about a quarter of that or 20% of that in a bounty tournament. Around 3k, depending on bounties. Okay, this cash looks like it's going... Oh, here we go. Cash looks like it's going okay, boys. Yo, Kid1591, hello. Nah, mate, I'm not really going to commit tonight. I can't commit tonight. And it's a bit, you know. It's some very weak social responsibilities that's making me quit, but also, like, I don't know. Don't want to piss anyone off. I'm not committing to a session to make other people happy. That's what I'm getting at.
As I walk through the garden of orange tomatoes, I see blue flowers.
GL.
Blue flowers. Blue flowers. Blue flowers.
Right. Yeah, the river check's great because he did bet to turn small. Maybe he's got Jack 9. Jack 9. I just want to really go for the jugular. If he calls anything but an ace, shame on him, but, you know, he is an absolute crack addict if he does so. Can't be too mad at it. So he's check raise flop. He's bet to turn. Smells like a 9 when he bet. If he checks an ace on the river... See how much info I know from, you know, anyway. Sickening. When I have just got every ace in the fucking world, man. Ah, it's so sickening. So sickening. Probably smells like Jack 9. It's just Jack fucking 9, you know. So why, you know, this is the thing, man. This is the thing. You saw me make a ridiculous fold earlier on the turn with ace king there. You know, my reads are fucking good, man. Like, I'm pretty comfortable with them. Basically, the translation to what I was saying is I think, you know, I'm going to be right often. So when I do make a play, I was probably right, you know, man. I hate to say it. But a lot of the big plays have been, you know, a lot of the... I've only 5-bet jammed 4 deuce offsuit in my life once. It was on the bubble of a 125, the 125 deep stack. My friends hated it, but... There was like 850 up top. The min cash was like 450. Really weird. No, maybe the top price was like 1,000, but the min price is like 450. Second and I'm the huge chip leader. Second and chips opens into my big blind. And I'm just 3-bet. He thinks he can open because he thinks that I'm not going to 3-bet the entire deck. I'll 3-bet the entire deck. I had 4 deuce off. And also that's way too weak to really defend. So I 3-bet my 4 deuce off. Because there was 5 left, 4 paid. Huge min cash. No bubble protection. I 3-bet him because I know he can't fold, he can't really call, he can't do anything. He 4-bets non-all in. He clicks it back. I don't even think that's kings. I don't even think he'd do that with kings. You know, he doesn't want to do that with kings. Have me peel. He's jamming kings. I had a big polar big blind 3-bet. He's repping aces there. Right? And this is a bit of a, you know, I know it's coming across a bit of an ego rant, but there's a point. There's a point to anything. It's an anything's possible is my point. It's not about this or that or what he says or what this says. There's no can't. There's no can't in poker. So anyway, I do a big polar 3-bet 4 deuce off. He clicks it back. It's if I think it's only aces, even like for the point, even if we give him kings and aces. Well, now it's kings and aces and all the other hands that he can just play back. He can just play back. It's human against human. He's going to want to play back at me. He's aware of the situation. He's going to want to play back at me. So it's way easy. It's too easy for him to overdo the playing back versus the aces and kings. He's got the amount of times he's going to play back and the amount of times he's going to have aces and kings. In game, I just thought it was aces. So it was all the other stuff and aces. All the bullshit, all the ace 9 off, all the king 8 suit, he could just click back anything because he knows I'm overdoing the 3-bet. Remember now as well, and it's probably like 35 effective, I've 3-bet big. He's clicked it back. Probably a good chunk of his stack is in the middle. What does that mean? I'm getting a really good fucking price. My price on the jam, it's just maths. If he only has aces and kings, and then he can have all the other stuff that's just playing back at me, It's going to work about my 5-bet jam with 4 deuce offsuit there. It's going to work. How many times is it going to work? If he's got aces and kings only, how often is he going to fold? 50-50? No. Aces and kings is 12 combos. Right? Right? So then, so it's about 90% of the time he's folding. Maybe if he's really playing back a lot and he's only got aces as in deuce, he's probably folding 95% of the time. So yeah. So yeah, I should just kind of go. That's what Isildur did, by the way. Isildur went to the fucking top by. He thought if he thought about a decision too long, it was a bad sign because his instincts were so fucking on point. That's what happens when you play a ridiculous amount of volume and you never step outside the game for fucking 2 days at a, you know? You know, there's a lot of people brainwashed out there, man. You know, everyone, even though the play worked, the boys in the Discord didn't like the play. And I fought my case. I fought my case hard. So, nice fold. Nice fold. We got lucky, but I just don't think we've got the price, alright? I gotcha. Just out of position there. So check raising is what I'd prefer to do than check calling. We're not going to check call. It's just 2 big blinds, right? It's 2 big blinds into a pot of 3 big blinds. So that is a big bet and we're out of position. Check raising's cool, but if we're check raising and not expecting him to fold that much because he's too honest and he's too equity driven, you know what he's betting there that isn't value? Queen 10 and King 10 and open enders. You know, he's not stabbing something low equity, so. Anyway, whatever. Jury's out on that one. When Coleman was 16, he ghosted me a few hands and told me to bluff it off to Lars Luzak 5 minutes in and we lost. That's pretty funny. Doesn't mean he was wrong, though. Jerv says, I hear you agreeing with that. You stick to the right play and ace-5 players crumble. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not about the right play. It's about you're leveraging them making bad plays. We're not like making the right play because the book says it. We're taking advantage of them playing bad. That's kind of my bigger point. So even though there may be reasons for us not to want to 3-bet these guys, the bottom line is it's going to be just fucking good because these guys are bad at playing against 3-bets and a bunch of other stuff in the game. A lot of players are bold pre-late rage. Later all those 3-bets print. Well, okay, well we're not 3-betting just to make people fold though. That's the other thing, man. Like, you used ace-4 off and king-4. You're talking about low equity 3-bets. Yeah, don't be 3-betting. Like, just 3-bet queen-jack suited. 3-bet queen-10 suited. When the fucking guy opens the hijack and you're in the cutoff with 30 bigs and you've got queen-10 suited, 3-bet him. You know, it's not about like, it's not about getting him. That's just a good spot. He's going to fold sometimes. And then other times we're going to have a hand that plays well in position. The hands that he will fold are going to be like offsuit hand, like King 10 offsuit will fold there when we 3-bet Queen 10 suited. So just good things happen against these bad players when we 3-bet. Yeah, but you're saying like a lot of players when late reg is open are like loose and stuff. But yeah, don't 3-bet low equity stuff. Have a linear kind of 3-bet range against these guys. Maybe don't take the... And when you say King 4 off is going to be specifically like big blind versus cutoff or button, shallow-ish. Or perhaps big blind versus small blind, kind of late position, wide ranges. You know, obviously you're not taking the king 4 off mid position. You've got a bunch of really interesting hands, man. Yeah, that's one of them, the Jack 10. This is... Oh, OBS is going to fucking fuck me up now. That's nice. Thanks, OBS. It only took fucking ages. Or maybe it was instance, but from my point of view... Banging on... We've got the suits here. Even though... Yeah, we've got the suits here. Here's another one. We've check call flop lead turn. And overbet river... Also blocking suited 10x, suited trips, queen 10 suited, queen 10 of spades not possible, 10 9 of spades not possible, queen jack of spades not possible, queen 10 of spades not possible. It's not we're doing the whole play because of the blockers. The blockers is just a nice little touch. Now we give up. His range is a lot of trips. We have a little sliver of showdown against the sticky 9s and 8s. Our range is a bunch of give-ups, so like we would never check call here because if he had our range is so polar to nothing, and you know, well we have nothing a lot. So what's he gonna try and get called by really? I mean, or sorry, what would he try and bluff? He wouldn't try to make us fold anything. You know, what's he trying to make us fold? He doesn't need to make us fold. He can just show down like his whatever. Alrighty, nice hand. It's quite a value heavy line, even though, you know, to be honest, yeah, snap fold from the reg. Yeah, value heavy line by me. Bit of a face up when it happens, though. It can't always be. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes you gotta be face up, man. I do hate it, though. It always makes you feel a little off. Shit, my batteries went. Dun, 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 dun. I guess we'll skedaddle, boys. Been a good chat. I'm gonna play some FIFA on my other channel. Yeah, Svenism. I'm gonna raid it. Gonna keep these jams going over there too. Started playing FIFA 2 music. Get me in a bit more of a flow state. Just like with poker. That's why when I'm yapping without the music, I'm sure it's a less enjoyable experience for everyone, but especially for me and my poker, it suffers big time. So try and work on less yapping next stream, like I said, because that's back-to-back streams of yapping. I know some of you like it. I know some of you definitely don't. I would be more person. I mean, we can yap about hands. You can yap about the hands we're playing. Too much other stuff. It's like, I think this is kind of cool, man. It's a nut suit. It's not like we're ever going to build a pot against a bigger flush. Build a pot against some boats, but we block boats. And this is just absolutely how we'd play an 8. We'd really make an ace feel pretty miserable. We should go a bit bigger though. This is why you rabbit. This is the only reason you'd rabbit hunt, by the way. It's the only reason it's acceptable to rabbit hunt. Please continue. It's gonna suck, man. If he checks back the turn, that's because that's what's gonna happen a lot because everyone's so bad. But queen's ace, queen jack. You know what it is though, man? Like he's got a really good player who makes money consistently from the game would bluff 9s, right? This guy won't. Check 9-9 right here. All right. Doesn't bluff that in the turn though. Nice. Good job, man. Good job. Good job, man. Good job. On the river, he's fine. Like, fair enough on the river. Fair enough on the river. He's got showdown on the river against King Jack and pocket 10s. But yeah, man, I'm getting really hungry for the grind. I was really hungry for the grind today, honestly. Couldn't commit to it fully because trying to keep some other people happy. To be honest, which is all good. I'll also enjoy their company. Yeah, I've also agreed to something beforehand, you know. It's annoying because I had about 5 days there to do stuff. but I was under the weather. I wasn't feeling well. I had a fucking leg injury and everything. Shit, son. This could be a really rare, like, no, not a give up, but like, I guess we don't give up, but if he's got any brain to him, he'll know we'll have all these hands. Very easy spot too. But when he checks the turn, like, that's... Maybe that's a bunch of give-ups, like King Jack and stuff. Could be a lot of ace-x, though. God, I wish we just left before that hand. Alright, awesome, awesome. Awesome, very cool. Could be because of the stream as well, you know, like, honestly, when I'm playing FIFA as well, I've noticed now, because there's people know I'm a streamer when I'm playing FIFA, because it's like in my FIFA name. People are just way more like kind of trying to do stuff because you're on the stream. Like that could be that, or it could be, but that's what it is a lot, which is annoying. But yeah, that's cool. And we're leaving the game after he's done that as well. Well, too late now. We close the table. Close the table. Good on him, man. Good on him. He played the hand terribly, but like showing me. Probably if I was to stay on that table, I'd need some foods before I. Definitely got me a little irritated, you know. That is the true benefit to like showing your cards. I don't like it if someone gets knocked out of a tournament and some other guy is like wait, what I'm talking about is making someone feel a bit irritated. Don't do it when someone's leaving a tournament. Have some mercy. If someone's still on the table with you, just like I was, he wasn't to know I was going to leave. So yeah, let's play. I respect that. I respect that side of it, like showing it. Because you know what? I bet you if we sat there, I bet you he wouldn't bluff me again. And I respect that even more. That's a really smart thing to do, man. Bit of awareness. These Chinese dudes are smart, man. Although he's a bit of a maniac, but our sizing was also super weak. Like we went 24, but he did just snap jam like there was no tomorrow. See you over on my other channel, lads. Some of you people who are just here for the poker, I get that. I'll see you on the next poker stream. High 90% chance that's tomorrow. But yes, chat to some of you immediately.